Now we're live. Second stream after
live.
party. Let's do it.
We're actually going to talk about some bikes.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say, I don't know how qualified I am to talk about this, but Lee Stuart is very qualified, so it'll make up for the both of us.
I might know a thing or two. Why the hell can't I can't see the friggin' stream on my... So I can't even see the side chat. God, I'm new at this.
Yes, I can see the side chat. They're fucking going nuts.
Yeah, I can't see shit. I can't even open it right now. Like the stream or whatever.
I'm sharing it right now.
What the hell? Oh, this sucks. I can't see anything. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe if I do this. I think I got it. Hold on here. Let's figure this out. It took me the first time I did that live stream by myself, I think it took me probably 2 hours to figure out how the hell to do it.
Fucking weird, isn't it?
It is. They make it way too complicated. Yeah, it's so much more.
I just went to tag you, and I saw that your job is the Derek Zoolander Center for Kids Who Can't Read Good and want to learn to do other stuff.
Oh, there we go. I got it. Sweet. All right, we're golden. Okay, now I can see what you guys are talking about. I can answer stuff, ask me stuff, ask Shade Tree stuff. He knows lots of shit. Let's do this.
I don't know much. Okay, here's my whole thing. I don't know a lot, but I have a lot of opinions.
That you do have. But yours are good, though. Yours people actually want to listen to. It's not like mine where I'm just fuck that, and that's the end of it.
Oh, here's a question I know about that somebody immediately answered. Do spray-painted helmets chip? And this goes for spray-painted anything. Spray-painted anything chips fucking hard.
Yeah. Actually, the only thing that I've used that actually, holds up like crazy is that, what the hell is it called? That Fusion, that Krylon shit for plastic. That stuff is so tough, man. I painted 5 stunt bikes with that stuff, and it does not come off.
But as a rule, if you spray paint something, it's gonna suck. Your paint job is gonna be pretty crappy.
Oh yeah, it's not gonna last the test of time. But I mean, I spray paint my stunt bikes for the simple fact that they get the shit kicked out of them all the time, and especially not so much these days. I'm a lot more well behaved, but in my earlier 20s when I started stunt riding, the reason I spray painted my bikes was because they'd have to change colors every week or two when I outran the cops. That happens way too many times. They actually showed up at my doorstep one day. I was living at a buddy's house, and they kind of had an idea where I went, so they were fucking looking around, and I came flying into the yard full speed, and there was a barn in the yard. I ghost rode my bike into that barn, fucking ran, tucked behind the bushes and stuff, and I was looking around in the shop for whatever cans of paint I could find. I didn't even pull the fairings, nothing of that off. I just spray painted that whole bike green real fast. And they stopped there looking for a white CBR, and I was like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. That one's green.
I won't lie. I've done that a couple times myself. My most famous one was I had a girl on the back too, and it's the only time I've run from the cops. I know you've done it a bunch, but I fucking ran from the cops, man. It was so fucking awesome. I've never rode that well in my life. It was just I just remember it every second. I was like, man, I'm on fire. This is the best. It was such a. I get why people on sport bikes run from the cops, because I remember I was doing it. I was just this is I'm on fire. I'm the best I've ever fucking been.
Yeah, it gives you this crazy I don't know if it's the adrenaline or something, but all of a sudden it's just an extra set of skills kicks in for some reason.
That was it. It was an extra set of skills. I was I don't know how I'm doing this well. And I remember I just slid it sideways in my backyard on the grass, and I jumped off of it and let it go. I just was hop off, and then I was standing and the bike was still tumbling with the girl on the back.
Just check out of there. See you later.
No, I fucking checked out. I was just see ya. And she went ass over tea kettle, fucking boom, boom, boom all over the fucking ground.
Yeah, that's one of the big reasons I still to this day like won't ride with a passenger, just because like there's times where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to ride aggressive as fuck and get out of something. So I don't want to have to deal with that.
Here's a technical question that you could answer. Is a chain necessary for learning wheelies on a cruiser?
Not really, no. Like, to be honest, learning wise, no, not at all. The only reason the chain's on there is for longevity purposes. Like belt works just fine, but I mean, it's not going to last the test of time after you're torquing on it over and over and over and over and over again all day long for, a month at a time. Eventually that thing's going to get weak and stretch and eventually break and leave you stranded somewhere, where the chain odds of that happening are a hell of a lot slimmer. So that's mainly the big reason. And then the other reason is it just looks way fucking better.
It does look really fucking cool. That is the way to go. The chain,
yeah, like
belts look fucking gay. I mean, I'm just gonna. Yeah.
They really do. They really do. And the only reason that they run a belt on a Harley is still just from nostalgic purposes. When they built the first ones, that they actually used like a leather fucking belt to drive that thing.
Just Josh 01 ever shaft drive bike all the time. It's called a Rocket 3, and you don't have to know how to wheelie to make that bike wheelie. It just fucking does it.
Yeah, no shit. I've never ridden one of those yet. I kind of want to. Those things got some fucking Jim Jam under the hood.
It's I don't know, man. It's fucking stupid. It's weird, but it's not like a Harley though, because here's one of the things that people forget about Harleys, and it's especially like the 600 class crowd forgets about Harleys, is that, yeah, you know what? Your R6 is fast. Get on a big twin. It is the hand of God pushing you.
It really is, yeah.
These people do not understand what torque is.
No, yeah, like the torque is the big difference maker that people don't even realize. They just see like horsepower or top speed numbers and think that's the gospel. But fucking, you jump on something with like what's your Rocket 3 putting out for torque?
It does a little more. It does more horsepower than torque because it's a 3-cylinder, but it does like 160 torque and like 170 some horsepower.
Yeah, that's like savage. Because I mean, when you think about like a ZX10 or something like that, like the torque numbers are half of that, not even close.
But I will tell you, it doesn't come on like a Harley. When you get on a big twin, it comes off. You're talking about it comes on at 800 RPM. It's insane. And the Rocket, I mean, it really, until like 2,500, maybe 3,000 RPM is when it really starts to come into it. And it makes a ton of power, but it's not like a twin. It's not nothing pulls off the line like a V twin.
No, not even close. That torque that gets you off I think it's that torque that drives people to fucking become such fan of those bikes. Like that's what did it for me too. I've up until probably, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, if you would ask me what I thought about Harleys, I would have fucking told you they're gayer than Freddie Mercury's mustache, man. Like I hated them. I absolutely hated them, but I had never ridden one either at that point. I just saw all the douchebags riding around with their fucking Hog Club jackets and chrome everywhere and fucking tassels and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'd never want that to be me. I'm going to kill myself before that happens. And then I jumped on a Sportster that was like total turd, like such a piece of junk, but like it still ripped. It was fast. And I was on that bike for 5 minutes and I was like, I'm sold. I want this thing. I need a Harley.
That's why I always say don't knock it till you try it. And
yeah, I felt like that torque and that bottom end jam, and it was still a sporty. Like sporties, they're quick bikes, but they're not like huge power monsters off the bottom end by any means. But like there was something about it compared to my 600 that was just like you couldn't compare.
Well, it's weird.
I was sold.
It's usable power.
It really is, yeah. And I mean, like I don't know, the feel of it is what's really cool.
All night, but it ends up being just usable power. It's like, where do you use your power? And it's stoplight to stoplight. And you know what? If you live in the mountains, like if you live in fucking the French Alps, yeah, you probably shouldn't have a Harley. Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
But like, where you live is the same as where I live. It's flat and straight. Like I want lots of power, and I want it to come on right away.
Yeah, this place this place is made for a sport bike, which is, I don't know. It's just high speed everything. That's all there is. There's more elevation on a fucking 7th grader's chest than I have here. So, so yeah. But I mean, I got tired of going fast, man. Like I'm 30 now. I don't want to be going 200 miles an hour anymore. That shit sucks. I'd rather fall over doing wheelies and stuff. That's much more interesting to me.
All right,
man. There's a lot more people here than I've.
About us not answering questions, but you know what? I just looked back from the dude who's like, they're not answering questions. So like, nobody's fucking asking any questions, motherfucker.
Yeah, there's a lot of goddamn questions. There's way more people here than I figured there would be.
Yeah, well, no, there's not any though. Like this dude's like, oh, they should just call each other and forget YouTube. I'm like, where are the questions?
Yeah, no, I see a bunch of them. I'll
ask some fucking questions, motherfucker.
Yeah, dude, right there that said that. I'll answer your question about the oil pump. No problems with the oil pump. The only problem with Harleys is the oil pickup itself inside the pan. I mean, I'm talking Dyna specific, actually, not Harleys in general. The Dyna, if you're familiar with the oil pickup in there, it's got an oil pan system instead of an oil bag like the other ones do. And in the front of the oil pan, there's just a little hole, and that's your oil pickup. There's nothing else. It's literally just like a fucking, I don't know, I think it's like a 3/8 hole. It's a tiny little thing, or 1/4 inch, actually. It's a 1/4 inch hole, which is not a whole lot. And when you think of an oil pan, like, well, you know, you've worked on cars forever too. Like, an oil pan is not ever full to the top. It's like half at best. And so you get that thing half full, and it's just got that little teeny tiny little pickup in there. But then you put the bike up anywhere past like 9-10 o'clock, and all of a sudden you're not sucking any oil through that thing. So all of a sudden your cams go dry, and it's hilarious too, because like when I start carrying like long length wheelies where I'm like banging into like 3rd gear at times and stuff, and I'm holding them for a while, you can hear it. All of a sudden my valves just start getting louder and louder and louder and louder. And then once they get to a certain point, I'm like, okay, now it's getting dangerous. Put it down.
but you heard it here first. You can let your valves tap for a little while.
Oh yeah, my motor is hurting bad, and I still do that to it, and it's still going. So, but there is a cure for it. I mean, you can do what a lot of guys are doing is a little fitting that you can get at any pretty much any shop that does like pneumatic stuff, like works on air compressors or any of that kind of shit. You just get like a little copper fitting in there because they all come already with a 1/4 inch thread on them, and you just tap that hole, and you make a little notch inside the baffle in the oil pan, and then you basically just have a snorkel running from the front to the back, so it's always picking up oil.
Two more questions. One is, what do you think of leather chaps? They look horrible, but if it's really fucking cold out, you're probably praying for them.
Awesome. I'll die of hypothermia before I put one of those on.
And the next one was a good one. What would you do to a Sportster to get the kind of power you get from a Dyna?
Well, my Dyna is running less power than the Sportster right now because my motor is so fucking tired. But Sportsters you can make fast. Like, those bikes rip. That motor's super strong already right off the gate. But I mean, you can do all the other stuff to it. Like, they make that 1250 big bore for it and stuff. That's a really popular setup people are using. But throwing a set of cams in that bike is huge fucking power.
That's something that people forget a lot. Is they always want to look at exhaust, they want to look at intake, and it's like, dude, that exhaust and intake are mostly superficial. You got to get in the internals to make real power.
Yeah, and I mean, that bike from the factory, they put a really lazy cam in that thing because they make it to run for basically ever, right? So you put in a performance cam in that thing where it's going to be something you're going to need engine maintenance every, I don't know, few years, depending on how hard it is or how hard you are on your bike. But you do something like that to it, and man, that bike wakes up big time. And
it's not a question, just a statement, but I feel like I want to say it because so many people forget it. 4 strokes rev higher than 2 strokes, and that's the world we live in now. That 4 strokes rev so much higher than 2 strokes these days.
Yeah,
it's not 1987 anymore. Like,
Yeah, pretty much. Unless you're on a V twin, mine maxes out at like $4,000.
Oh yeah.
Like
But it's
my
crazy.
fucking
I ride my XCW 300. It's a tractor. My Husqvarna 450 that I had before that revved so much higher than the 300 does.
yeah, it cracks me up sometimes. I sit there and think about it. I'm like, man, my bike, I'm riding red lines at what my stunt bike idles at. Because when my stunt bike, I have the idle cranked to like 3,600, 4,000 most of the time.
Just Wow Talon wants to know, Lee, what color spring are you using in your 6 days?
In my 6 days. I think he's talking to you.
I'm just reading the question. I think he's using a red.
Shit, I'm gonna have to stop growing this beard. People are gonna start confusing me for you.
Actually, there's been a couple of people want you to turn your camera on. They want to see your face. They say you're pretty.
I'm in the dark right now. I can't see shit anyways. Sitting here fucking cuddled up in my blanket.
Hooligan Prime says, I'm 6'3", 250 pounds with a 32-inch inseam. I really like the 883 and the 48. Are they too small? No. I'm 6'1", which I know 2 inches ain't much. I'm 6'1", and I can ride. I've ridden a 48 specifically several times, and it feels fucking fine. So don't even worry about it.
Yeah, I'm 6'2", and I've spent tons of time on Sportsters, and I feel fine. And especially like even one with, depending on what kind of setup too, like if you want to run forwards or something like that, then
the only thing that makes a Sportster look small, like what are the XL? You know, the XL with that's got like that wide low tank.
Yeah,
that kind of makes a Sportster look small if you're sitting on it.
Yeah, like I can't stand that tank. But it's like on a Sporty, it's got to be that peanut tank or nothing.
Yeah, but it's the high tank. The high tank just makes it look so much bigger than that low one does.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, like if you're, they look like a small bike from a distance, but you actually get on it and it's really not. And depending on what kind of setup you're going to use, if you're going to use a bike with forward controls, then yeah, like you're being 6'3", you're going to be totally comfortable on that thing. Something with mids, you're going to be comfortable also, but depending on what you want to do, I mean, like I ride aggressive, so I always want mids on my bike, right? So if it's going to be uncomfortable for a long period of time, I'll make that sacrifice to be able to ride aggressively.
Here's a weird question. JT Sun goes, for Sportsters, would you go rubber mount for wheelies? But they've always been rubber mount, haven't they?
No, like yeah, in a sense, I guess. I think he's referencing like the old setups, but
like
it doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. Like everyone talks shit about the Dyna engine mount all the time, and yeah, they do deteriorate pretty easily. But I mean, mine, I've been running it in that bike for however many years I've had it and been beating the shit out of it, and it's been totally fine, if you ask me. So, and I've been jumping it and stuff too, not just riding.
Yeah, I know, right? Like you want to know how it kind of holds up? Look at Lee's channel, and she's
I mean, like people are talking shit all the time about engine cases on a Dyna, like, oh, you do wheelies, you're gonna snap it and stuff. And yeah, I broke mine once, and I gave it the shittiest repair job known to mankind. Like it is the worst thing ever. If you saw me fixing that thing, you'd be like, oh my god, this guy does not know what he's doing. It's horrible. But I only had 110 power on the welder I was using at the time, so like I did what I could, and I mean that thing has held up all the way since then. I did that my first year on that bike, and since then I've ridden on the ice. I've been wheeling the shit out of it. I was jumping it all day at one place, and that thing hasn't broke yet. Yeah.
Don't hate jumping it. Go ahead and jump your VTX 1800. Let me know how that works out for you. You know.
Shit. I'll jump in.
Toaster asks, weight. Again, this is like the big thing. People are so worried about their size on a Sportster. Let me tell you, I'm gigantic. I weigh 300 pounds, and I've ridden plenty of Sportsters, and you don't worry about it. You're not going to make the bike look small. The actual size difference between a Sportster and a Dyna is very, very, very close.
Yeah, very, very close, actually.
If you're worried about riding a Sportster and you think you're going to make it look small, you're not. Not unless you weigh 500 pounds and you're 7 feet tall.
The only difference between those two, what makes one look kind of like way bigger of a bike, it's just the cosmetics. But as far as the ergonomics are concerned, it's identical when you sit on it. It feels the exact same.
Busted that scope. If I jumped my soft tail, it would explode. Probably.
I mean, we can test that theory. You want to come try?
I just saw life goes. What's an affordable crash cage for cruiser bikes? Cruisers have been putting big quotation marks crash cages on them for years. They're called just like highway mounts. Like everybody has them on their bike. And
yeah, they've been around forever, and they literally don't do anything. Like those like bullshit. What they call a crash bar that's been around for so long, like that thing does nothing at all. There's only
size. Like he says, we're lying. You look like a stooge in a Sportster. That's not fucking true.
Well, yeah, whatever. You look like a stooge in the chat then. So, anyways, Bunking makes a fucking crash bar, and they're the only one that's doing it right now, which kind of is good, but kind of sucks. I don't want to talk shit about a company specifically, but I'm going to just go ahead and say that crash bar is junk. Sorry. I've seen all. I hate saying it out loud, like to a bunch of people, but it just is. It's not built strong enough. It's not built properly. It's just got way too much leverage on it for how far it sticks out of the bike, so it bends. Every single one I've seen is bent.
Okay, so here's a good. It's not really a question, but I'm gonna make a question out of it. JT Suns goes, I've been considering an F4i stunt or a Sportster. You're making me lean towards HD again. So you've stunted on sport bikes and Harleys, Lee. If somebody is getting into stunt, like I want to learn how to stunt, which way would you point them?
I mean, it's really, I don't know. It's hard to say, I guess, without knowing like your riding background or what skill level you're at and stuff. But I mean, as far as cost effectiveness, that's usually people's big thing. Stunt bike all the way. Go with a sport bike because you can pick up an F4i or a early model 636 like mine at tons of auctions and scrap yards and all that stuff. Like those things are everywhere, and those bikes are built like tanks. They will last forever. So that's kind of sweet about those. But I mean, getting into a V-twin, that's a whole nother thing. It's a very expensive ball game. So if you got money, get into a V-twin, sure, but be prepared. The bills are high.
I would say this, and I'm just like, as a cross training thing, this is what I did. If you want to get into stunning, buy a fucking dirt bike.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone's asking me too, like, why you're building a stunt bike right now and just do shit to your Harley. And I'm actually building my stunt bike as cross training for my Harley, so I can go out and try tricks that I know I'm not capable of doing on my Harley right now, but go out and bang them out on that thing and crash on that bike all day and give that thing a shit kick. And then once I've got it, okay, then I can try it out and bring it on the Harley. So
you heard it here first.
And plus, I don't know, there's just stuff that you'll never be able to do on a V-twin stunt bike that you can on a sport bike. As far as a dyno is concerned, I mean.
If you could, would you stunt on an electric bike?
Oh, 100%. If Alta, because they're the only ones really doing stuff in the electric thing right now. Well, KTM has their E-Free Ride, and that thing looks pretty cool. But that Alta Supermoto they got, that thing is fucking tits. Like, if someone wanted to give me one of those to try some stuff, I'm all for it.
If anybody's listening, send a bunch of emails right fucking now. Let's get Liam. Harrison,
well, I mean,
I want to answer this one real quick. Harrison I have a question about Harley. Any good ideas to get sport bike forks on a Harley? Absolutely. About
yes.
a million fucking people make fucking triple trees to get GSX.
Yeah, look up Gigacycle Garage on Instagram. He's got by far the best kit out there right now, and probably the most cost-effective one.
Any advice on how to bleed a handbrake? You bleed it just like a regular brake.
Actually, there's a little added process to it that a lot of people.
Whoa! Shut me down. Do it. Go on.
There's a little bit extra to it, like because that line is so fucking long on that thing. especially too, like if you're doing like a junction style, like most people do when they're starting off. The fastest way to bleed that thing, start at the master cylinder and crack the banjo bolt every single time, and don't just start all the way back at the bleeder, because you'll be there for days. It takes forever, and you won't end up with a solid handbrake. Start off by bleeding the master cylinder, get that bled properly first. Just keep cracking the master cylinder over and over again until you're pissing out fluid, and then start pumping fluid through the line. Then once it gets back there, then crack the banjo back there, get that bled, and then work your way back to the bleeder, and you'll end up with a rock solid handbrake.
There's a couple of questions on the same vein. Someone asked, like, have you ever wheelied a bagger? Someone asked, like, when are we going to wheelie my electric glide? So I've seen it online plenty of times, but have you personally ever wheelied a bagger?
Nope, never, because I don't have one. If someone wants to do that same thing with the electric bike, shit, I will tear the bags and the fender right off that bike if someone wants to let me use one. The only people I know that have them are way too expensive of bikes that will not let me fucking anywhere near them, because they know exactly what's going to happen.
Like, a wheelie a bagger, you're talking about a bike that costs like as much as a fucking car. When you talk about like $25,000 motorcycle, people aren't exactly going like throwing you the keys to beat it up.
yeah, exactly. So it's tough. I mean, you can find a cheap beaten up one somewhere, but still, that's just money I don't have to spend. I'd love to one day, like, build some crazy ass bagger to do ridiculous shit on. I mean, like, tons of people wheelie baggers already, so I'd probably scrap that. Well, I mean, I would be able to do it still, but I'd want to look at more stuff like off-roading with that thing and jumping it and doing hilarious things that bike should never ever do.
So several people have asked, what's your day job, Lee? And I'm going to go ahead and answer that for you, and you're looking at it.
You're looking at it. I'm a very struggling, broke fucking YouTuber that doesn't make any money whatsoever. So that's what I'm trying to make.
Will you ever build? I feel I'm just like fielding your questions right now. Like I'm a Lee.
You're like the moderator.
I know. Well, it's going good, man. I mean, okay. Awesome. So will you ever build a bike from scratch?
Yeah, I mean, it just always comes down to money with everything, right? Like, I've got the tools and the skills here to build basically whatever the fuck I want. It's just when the day comes that I can afford to, I'd love to build something. Like, I'd really like to do something with a Dyna that hasn't been done yet. I've got big plans, like, written down and drawn up and stuff in my head that would be really, really cool and outside the box that haven't been done before. So it's just a matter of
people want to know this. Will we ever see another dirt bike from you?
Oh man, that's all I've been talking about for like the last month is how bad I want one.
That's what I want to see. I'm going to be honest. That's what I mean. I'm just so into.
I know
the dirt bike thing.
It's just something so cool that I could add to it too, because like, I mean, I've got the background in freestyle motocross and racing and all that shit, and like here we've got probably some of the raddest natural terrain riding that you can find. I want
to do it. I'm going to be honest. I wish B-Rad to come in. He had some stuff to do, but God, man, he's about to just like live the dream. It's like, talk about like have a van, and it's like I'm going to take my supermoto and my dirt bike and just travel the country.
Dude, I went to the Ford dealership like 5 days ago and went and looked at that thing. Exact same one.
How amazing is that? Just that concept. Like,
yeah. I mean, well, yeah, I think I talked about it with you probably like last year sometime of that whole gypsy plan of getting a van.
That's one of the things I remember you talking about, and like I haven't brought it up because it's like, you know what, doing is doing and talking is talking.
Yeah,
like you talked about that concept way before he did it. Not that it matters, but
oh yeah, 100%. He's doing it right now, and that's fucking awesome. That's totally my dream, is to do something like that, like build out a camper van, load it up with a dirt bike, a sport bike, and my Harley, and just live in that thing for a year or longer and just tour all of North America and ride with all the cool people I can find and ride the sickest spots that this continent has to offer.
Oh my God. And like, I would love that, especially on the dirt bike thing, because here in Florida, we've got some excellent terrain, but it is very challenging, especially because of sand. And people like to talk shit about sand, but like talk shit all you want, but it's challenging. And the whole idea behind riding a dirt bike is is not to go out and find something easy to ride, is to find something challenging to
That's
ride.
I've been riding sand like my entire life, and that's what I tell everybody. You want to get good at riding a dirt bike, ride the sand. Get good at riding the sand. If you get good at riding in that, you're good at riding in anything.
It was a weird learning curve, that's for sure, coming off of street bikes. And I did the opposite as most people. I went off riding street bikes to riding dirt bikes, but I'm going back again. I've been one time since I broke my foot, just because I just got these Garen boots. And by the way, everybody watching this right now, feet, knees, elbows, hands, and head. Feet, knees, elbows, hands, head. Spend money on that.
Yeah, no shit. That I can definitely vouch for that.
Spend money on my feet. You know, I spent $200 on my Fox Comp 5 boots, and they butt fucked me.
Yeah, those are two things like I will never cheap out on. Is like my helmet and my boots. Well, I mean, I don't wear boots when I ride on the street, and everyone gives me shit for it. But sorry, but riding dirt bikes, yeah, like it's Alpine Stars, Tech 10s or nothing. Those boots are.
Question, and I've always wondered this because R6s are so prevalent. Jose Cardona asks, can you stunt an R6?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. You can stunt anything you want. You look at the guys overseas and stuff, like countries that are like third world countries and stuff. There's guys doing sick stuff on like these weird Chinese knockoff scooters and shit. Like you can turn anything you want into a stunt bike. It's just how bad you want it.
But you almost never see an R6 turned into a stunt bike.
Yeah, it's not as common. A lot of reasons like that.
Seems strange.
It's a tough bike.
It's a very common bike.
Yeah, it's a tough bike, especially like the modern ones. I guess like the earlier models, they didn't make really good stunt bikes, to be honest. Like they were just always off. But the later model ones now, the real issue with those is like they've been running that fly-by-wire system for a long time, and you got to circumvent that whole bullshit to be able to turn it into a stunt bike, and that's what shies a lot of people away from it.
Two questions for me. I'm going to answer real quick. Just while Talon says you got plans for the 125, it's actually a 100, and the 300. Yes, I'm going to be doing more stuff with them. Busted Nux goes, when are you going to start on the XS650? Soon. And going on from there. Let me pick another one. Sorry.
I'm excited for that.
Somebody says I'm going to be stepping outside of my comfort zone in a huge way. I know how to work on bikes, but that's only because I know how to turn a wrench. I was a car mechanic for years, and knowing how to turn a wrench is half the battle. But I've never done anything as far as like fabrication, where it's like, hey, cut something in half and weld something onto it. That's way new to me, way new. But I'll say this: nothing ventured, nothing gained. So
Yep.
You'll never know if you know how to do it unless you give it a shot.
Yeah, man. That's exactly like everyone always asks me, like, oh, how do you know how to do all this shit? Because everyone sees me like either wrenching or fabricating or doing whatever the hell I do in my shop, basically anything. And it's all from trial and error. Like I've been doing this shit since I was a little kid. And like, I mean, you wouldn't be able to imagine how much stuff that I messed up along the way learning all that stuff. And even still this day, I fuck up all the time still. I just don't show it on camera.
I can't. When I first started working on cars, and this is different than bikes, but you know, when I first started working on cars, there's like real terror, especially working on somebody else's cars. When I was a mechanic at a dealership, like putting wrenches on something that somebody else owns is such a weird feeling, because I'm just like doing this, going like, I'm gonna fuck this up, and like, let's say you round off a nut, or you break a bolt or something like that. It's such a weird, stressful, crazy thing to happen on somebody else's vehicle. Like if you do it on your own, you're just like, fuck, this sucks. But if you got somebody else's vehicle you're working on and you break off a bolt or you round off a nut, you're just like, this is a big deal now. It's a
Yeah, no shit.
really big
Oh
deal.
shit, we got Dank Wheelies up in here, man. If you want to get in here,
Oh
fucking
man, let me send Dank Wheelie a fucking.
yeah, yeah, he can get up in here. And also, I see Theo in the chat. Shout out to Theo. If you guys are down with Harley Wheelies, he's been fucking on the come up real fast. So go check his shit out. So, all right, let's see if I can find one real quick here. Suggestion for Dynaseats. Speed Fam all day.
All day. You know what? I think I'm gonna sell a Teespring for Waldo's shirts just to get buy Dynafam seat for Waldo because he let me borrow his bike.
That would be fucking awesome.
Those seats are fucking. The stitching is fucking hot. That's hot, dude. That's good.
It's super nice, man, and like that thing is comfortable. They're all gel inserts and stuff inside there.
I just love the. I love their name too because I went and checked it out after you posted that, and they call it the regular one's the gripper, and then like
there's the ripper and there's the stripper gripper.
This is the stripper gripper.
Yeah, how sick is that?
That's so fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
I was just like, oh man, this is the seat, man. This is it.
No, no Speed Fam's not a Saddleman rebrand. The very first models of them were like for the first month or so, but now they're completely their own deal now.
Okay, I'm gonna leave you with a question. I gotta fucking rock a piss so hard.
Okay.
God, what's a good question?
How many?
We're going here.
Here's one. How many stunt riders do you know around Manitoba or Saskatchewan? Zero.
Right,
I'm the only one. I'm literally the only one. Especially on Harleys, I'm definitely the only one. On normal stunt bikes, I'm not sure about Saskatchewan, but I know here I'm the only one that's been doing it for a while. I know there's some guys starting up right now, which is cool. They're getting bikes together and starting to learn, and that's fucking awesome. So props to them and anyone else that is going to get up on that because I'm tired of fucking riding by myself. So that would be nice. What do we got? Snow bike. This is why I've been thinking. Sorry, here, I better field the whole question. Andy Wright asked if I've ever ridden a snow bike. That's something why I've been thinking about a dirt bike a lot the last little while. There's something about that snow bike deal that now they've actually gotten good. I remember riding one way back in the day when they were first starting to come around. And I mean, that was 10 years ago, I think, when they were first starting to come into the scene, and they were garbage back then. Like they were worse than garbage back then. They were absolutely useless. So it left a bad taste in my mouth for a really long time. But now what like guys like Yeti and Timber Sled are doing with these things and how efficient they've made them, it's unbelievable. And then watching the snow bike racing on Winter X Games the other day, I was just like, holy shit, this is what I need to be doing. So snow bike, I really want to have. It's just not really feasible because, you know, you look at a new dirt bike is, well, I'm talking Canadian dollars, so wherever else you are, do the conversion. But a new bike is what, 10 grand, and then getting a snow bike kit on that thing is another 10 grand. So you're looking at 20 G's easy to get into a snow bike, and that's something that I just don't have and probably won't for a very, very, very long time. So hopefully it happens. If I magically stumble into that kind of money, fucking rights, let's do this. I'll snow bike all day. But,
I got to slow down my drinking, man. I bought an 18 pack. I just grabbed my last beer out of the fridge.
I think I've like probably downed like 6 bottles of water sitting here from the first stream to now.
Oh, God.
The piss I took before I started this thing was like probably I was gone for like 4 minutes. It's ridiculous.
I'm just so fucking amazed. I've drank 18 fucking I've actually drank 16 beers, and I'm not fucked up.
Yeah, but you're not even human when it comes to that.
Well, it changes sometimes. Sometimes I'll drink like fucking 7 or 8 beers and I'm fucking hammered. I guess it happened. No, sometimes it's fucking weird, man. You know.
Let's see, Grizzbomb. My next video will be, I don't know, Saturday, Sunday. I've been pretty consistent lately. I've been good. I've been a full month, like 4 weeks on point. That's the best I've ever done.
People have been loving it, man. And just a real quick YouTube thing. I will tell you the number one thing, and not that my channel is huge. I don't have a huge channel, but I grow consistently. The best thing I've ever done for my channel is upload consistently.
Yeah, that's huge, man. That's so huge. And I mean, for me, it's been hard to figure out how I'm going to do that because I can't ride all year. And I was always like, I don't know if I can do shop videos because they're so hard. But I was like, you know what? Fuck it. If people aren't going to watch them, they're not going to watch them. They want to unsubscribe. Go right ahead. I'm going to just keep making shit and work on my filming and editing. And that's going to be good practice for that. So, and they're turning out okay. So I'm pretty stoked on that.
I think they're turning out great, man. I'm loving them. Because
yeah, they're fun.
It's
cool. Like
it's about the person that's making the videos. It's not about what the videos are about. Because the video, it could be about, the videos could be about, this is my supermodel girlfriend's fake tits that are the best ever. And if the dude who's making them sucks, I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, it's hard for me to be like, I don't know, funny or enthusiastic or something doing shop videos because I'm just not in that kind of a zone when I'm working on my bike or whatever. I'm always like in full concentration mode kind of thing. So it's kind of showing a different way than I would like in my riding videos where I'm having a good time and doing different stuff. I'm trying to just like, do more cinematic looking shots or get crazier with the editing or something like that.
I'm the opposite, man. It's harder for me to make riding videos. It's so much easier for me to make a video in my house.
Yeah.
Like just
I mean, it's
do a talking head video and just like bust it out and write something and do a rant. Like, it's so much easier.
Yeah, I don't think I could do a talking head like a full blown one. And that's hard. I just don't have that much to say. I mean, I do, but
Is that a dig, motherfucker?
No, I mean, I just don't. You're like, you've got lots to say when you say shit, like it makes sense, and you're like, I don't know, you're eloquent with your words and all that. I'd just be sitting there staring at the camera saying fuck every 8 seconds, and no one wants to watch that.
I still see Dank Wheelie in the chat. What the fuck, dude? I sent you a link. Get in here.
Yeah, he's driving or some shit like that, but he's typing. So it'd be a lot easier to talk than type, guy. But yeah, we'll get him in here. Keep bugging him.
All right. Let's see here. It seems like a really easy question, but favorite Harley of all time? Like,
I mean, they've basically been all the same for a really long time. Like they always use the same engine all the time, basically, and just wrap it in a different package. But I don't know. I guess I'm going to pick the Dyna because it's a more performance oriented bike. So I got to go with a Dyna.
Yeah, seems pretty easy to pick. I mean, I feel like anybody would pick the Dyna because it's versatile. It's a Swiss Army knife because you can goddamn put bags and a fairing on it. You can fucking drive it across the goddamn country.
Yeah, I mean, like my real choice in my mind, I guess, or my heart, or whatever you want to say, would be the FXR. But the only reason it's not is the fact that those things are getting harder and harder to come by. So getting parts for it is fucking pain in the ass, and anyone that owns an FXR knows that. So I'd have to go with a Dyna instead.
Also, I'm seeing so many votes for FXR like pop in.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was the best bike they ever built. Like, I mean, if you took the FXR chassis and put the twin cam motor in there, you've got the ultimate Harley. Yeah. Hands down.
And I feel like the big difference between like having the twin cam FXR and having they didn't ever make one, but having putting a twin cam in there is just like people they don't rebuild twin cams.
Yeah, no, those things. Well, mine's a definite like it's like the poster child of that kind of stuff. Like they take a beating. The twin cam takes a beating and just keeps fucking going.
Yeah.
So,
but like the old FXR, and people go like, "Oh, FXR are the sporty Harleys," like to a certain degree, but the FXR motor, the single cam Evo, that's a shovel head, man.
Yeah, it's essentially it's a Sportster basically, just with the external transmission.
It's not a fast motor. Like,
yeah, so
I've seen lawn mowers rev faster than a single cam Evo.
Yeah, and you can make them build them to make big power, but I mean, you can also put in a stock 103 twin cam that'll mop the floor with it.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Here we go. Sprocket or belt drive. Of course, sprocket.
Yeah, we covered that one.
Craziest thing you've ever done on a bike?
Oh, shit. I don't know how long do we want this live stream to be.
Oh, goddamn. Off the top of your head, first thing.
I've got stories for days on that kind of stuff. Let's see here.
Not even the craziest thing, just like one story. Give us one story.
I guess probably like one of the biggest jumps I've ever hit. That was pretty rad, and it was totally like kind of spur of the moment type deal. We
Talk about like a moto
field. Yeah, we had this huge field and it's buddy's farm, and had equipment and all that stuff there, so we could build whatever the hell we wanted. And we built this monstrous jump on this huge hill. Like the takeoff to this thing was fucking huge, man. It was like probably, I think it was like 45 or 50 feet tall. Like it was big. And we just basically carved out half this hill and made this huge step up kind of deal. And it was from the takeoff to the knuckle, the landing was 175 feet, but the landing of the jump like was perfectly groomed, but it was like it went on forever. There was like 300 feet of landing, so you could hit this thing as fast as you wanted and you'd be okay. So we were launching this thing at like 250 plus feet all day long. It was super fun. And then I started getting the idea of like, man, we got some hang time on this thing, and I started banging off tricks on that thing, and it was getting pretty crazy. But I mean, back then I was only I think I was like 18 years old when I did that. So like I was made of rubber and dreams and was fearless and nothing mattered. So these days, these days, I don't think I'd ever do that again. But back then, man, it was huge too. Like how big we went off that thing was it was mental. And I don't know, it was crazy. We were just like, I don't know, just a bunch of stupid ass kids hanging out in the field, fucking smoking weed with a bunch of tractors. And we're like, let's just build a really big jump and see what happens.
Yeah, that's insane.
So,
the recipe for fucking disaster, man. And anybody like talks about doing crazy shit on a bike, like that's my whole thing. Like watching somebody go big on a fucking moto is just like it's the like going big on a moto is the equivalent of going 180 miles an hour on a sport bike.
Yeah, and that's what's cool about going big on a dirt bike or going big on anything. Like there's
anybody can do it.
Any asshole can fucking turn the throttle and go fast on flat ground, but you step them up to a big jump and say like hit that jump that same speed you just went on the ground, and they're like no fucking way.
And anybody who hasn't rode moto, like coming up to a jump, like the ice water that flows through your guts, like coming up to a jump is you don't even know, man.
Yeah. Oh, that first hit, especially like something with like a big gap in it or something where like if you don't make it, it's gonna really fucking suck. Or if you go way too far, it's gonna suck even worse. So like that feeling of like wanting to shit yourself the entire way up the takeoff is like it's something else, man.
Well, that's what gets me is the shit with gaps. Like I don't even know how people do that. I've never done one. Like going like I'm gonna jump this and going like if I on a tabletop, like whatever, you'll just land flat, and like the worst thing that'll happen is that you'll fall off the bike. But you've already landed. Like when you fall off on a tabletop, the suspension has already absorbed the most of the wreck. So you're not gonna hurt.
Yeah, and that's like that's a big thing in motocross. Like everyone talks about, you can set up 100-foot tabletop and everyone's gonna jump it. You set up a 50-foot double jump and fucking half the people are going to jump it.
Well, because on a tabletop, the suspension is going to absorb the hit.
Yeah, and even though the tabletop is the way bigger jump of the two, it takes all that fear out of it, having that middle filled in. You know, you can kind of work your way up to it. You can start off jumping 20 feet and then 30 feet, 40 feet, and so on until you're making the full 100. But on something with a gap, it's you do it or don't. Right, because if you misjudge it, you're gonna fall so far. If you don't hit the bottom, and everybody asks so far. And if everybody asks too, like how you judge that too. And there's really I can't explain it. Like there's really no answer. You just kind of feel it and hope your feeling is right.
You don't judge it. It's You just fucking eyeball it.
You got no speedo, you got no tack or nothing. You're just listening to the sound of the bike and just looking at the takeoff as you're going into it and kind of just calculating like, this feels fast enough. It looks like I'm going to make it that far. So let's just go ahead with this. And then sometimes you get halfway up the ramp or the takeoff and be like, oh shit, I'm just going to pin it just in case. I've had that happen lots of times where I was really
Billy says F4I jumps needs to be done.
Hell yeah. F4Is jump pretty good. I did it on my old one back in the day. They launch pretty nicely. They don't land very nice, but they jump nice. But I do know that an F4I will skim a fucking whoop section on a motocross track. I do know that because I hit that thing like third gear pin to see if it was possible, and it did.
Of course you did. What lens do you use with your Canon?
I don't have a Canon anymore. When I was using the Canon, I was just using the bullshit lens that came with it, which is garbage. Whatever that thing is. You have the same setup that, what is that lens?
Oh, the T3i.
Like 12 yeah, it's like a 17 to 20 something or whatever.
Everybody likes to go like, oh man, Lee's videos are so fucking great. I have the same camera that he had when he started. Let me tell you, that motherfucker put in some work because that camera sucks.
It does, man. Like, to get that thing to look good took me, I couldn't tell you how many hours of research and dicking around and messing with settings and editing techniques and all that to get it to look like passable for my standards.
Because
it's very hard.
Oh my God, it's so fucking awful. And it turns off. That's my whole thing is like, when you have a T3i, like, spend the money because you can find T3is for nothing. You're like, how is a DSLR so cheap? Because it sucks.
Yeah. Well, it's a good camera. Like, it's the only thing that sucks about it like we were talking about this the other day or in somebody's post or something, I think. The only thing that sucks from a vlogging standpoint is you don't have tracking autofocus. So when you're filming yourself, it becomes a huge fucking pain in the ass to use that camera. And there's tons of.
I've got and maybe I'm just doing something wrong. I've got a 64 gig, was it, whatever card in it, and it still turns off like every 15 minutes.
Oh really? Oh, maybe you got something going on there. But yeah, like you can get that camera to look really good. You can throw an expensive lens on that camera and it'll look phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. It's a decent camera. The only thing that it's not up to par with what's in today's standards, I guess. Like the maximum capabilities of that camera is 1080 at 30 frames or something like that, which is good. Don't get me wrong, but most people want to film in 60 frames or something like that do anything riding related.
Well, yeah, the whole thing is like anyway, don't buy a T3i. That's the advice.
I mean, yeah, like if you save your money and wait it out, there's lots of awesome stuff out there. Like the camera that I just told Jake to get, that's probably like the best entry level setup you can possibly have because it's not a big DSLR camera. It's something that can fit in your pocket. It doesn't take a shitload of knowledge to use it. You turn it on and it shoots, and it's super awesome. That's that Panasonic LX10. It's a little point and shoot camera. It shoots 4K video. It'll do 1080 at high frame rates.
What an old name, man. That's like an 80s name, Panasonic.
And like, it's beautiful. And yeah, same dude as what I'm using now. I'm using the Panasonic GH4 now, which is their, I guess, flagship camera in their filming thing. And yeah, it's fun. I've been waiting to buy that camera since I started vlogging. That's been my dream, to own that camera. And now that I have it, it's absolutely phenomenal. And it's funny because I look at it and I'm like, God, this sucks, because like my stuff doesn't look as good as the other guys that are using that camera that make it look like movie quality. And now I'm back like feeling like I'm using a T3i again because I can't stack up against these other people. So I gotta figure out.
I'm using a T3i, you fucking bastard. So yeah.
I gotta figure out how I can stack up against these guys making these cinematic fucking epics and stuff. Like
Jose Cardona goes, "What's your thoughts on a supermoto? Buy it. Best entry level bike ever. If you can buy a supermoto, that is the best bike to learn on, period." Blaine Jackson asks, "What's the most trouble you've ever been in?" More than you, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to talk about that on a live stream.
Amy asks, "Good bike for a 5'2", 118-pound girl. Suzuki Savage 650 all day long.
Depending on your style too. I'm really into that the new Ninja 300s, man. Those things are rad looking. For a little starter bike, those are sexy little starter bikes. Somebody was asking me this question the other day.
For a starter bike, everybody starts on a Rebel 250, and I feel like the Rebel 250 should win like a lifetime achievement award for just bringing so many people into the sport of motorcycling. And it's a great bike. Like, start on it. And my big thing about the Rebel 250 is it'll always be worth what you paid for it.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you pay $1,500 for a Rebel 250, you're going to get, I don't care how many times you drop it, you're going to get at least $1,000 out of it. So if you have that bike for fucking 8 months or something, that $500 that you lose on the bike is worth it for the riding experience.
Yeah. Andy, right.
And if you have a Rebel and it runs, that bike is worth $1,000.
Yep, easily all day. So it's depending on your style and stuff, and your budget, obviously, too. That's always everybody's problem is your budget, right?
Right. And the budget, if you have $2,000 to spend, and that's what you should be. If you're gonna ride, have $2,000.
Yeah.
That'll get you.
I was actually amazed too, like, because somebody was asking me this question. Actually, multiple people asked me this question. One of them really fucking pissed me off. I wanted to tell her to go fuck herself. But somebody was asking me about like these starter bikes and stuff, and those Ninja 300s, the brand new like 2017 with ABS and all the fancy crap in it, they're pretty goddamn cheap for what that bike is. They're like $6,000 Canadian, brand new off the floor. That's unbelievable.
It's insane.
All that stuff, but
no money. It's no money.
Yeah, totally. Like that's insane. I would have not thought a bike with that much cool stuff in it would be that cheap. But Andy, right about the go-kart track thing, that's already a deal that's going on, sort of. If you're familiar with, because I'm guessing you're in Manitoba, because you said here in Manitoba. So, Speed World, the go-kart track in town, every Sunday, mini supermoto racing inside there. That's something I've been meaning to do and go film a video on, but I don't have a bike. Tons of guys have said I can ride their stuff, so I'm gonna hopefully make my way down there and do some racing and make a cool video out of it. But yeah, they do it every Sunday, and it's fucking awesome, man.
Blaine Jackson, you're the fucking man. After that, Dyna for first bike, I guess, if you're big enough to handle it.
Yeah, I mean, first bike is really, I don't know, it's a tough question to answer, right? Then it's the most popular question that all of us get.
Right. That's a big first bike. Dyna's not it's not lightweight, you know.
Yeah, and it's really like it's a really subjective answer kind of thing, because like there's some people with common sense. I've seen that, like, you know, they have good motor skills or something, like somebody that can ride a skateboard real good or snowboard real good or whatever, right? So, you know, they've got the hand-eye coordination thing going on, so they can jump on anything and you can explain, here's the clutch, here's the shifter, and blah, blah, blah. And they figure it out right away. But somebody that just hasn't ridden before and doesn't really have that kind of skill set inside them, you throw them on something and they're going to be the person that's fucking clutch dumping and flying all over the goddamn place with spaghetti legs. So it's really hard to answer that question. But first bike is what I tell people: go with what you feel, man. If you really want to learn a bike, get a learner bike. You want to try looking like a badass right off the bat, I'm not going to make fun of you. You know, go crash that thing, or maybe it's totally going to work out for you. So, you know, who cares?
I always say that, knock yourself out. People want to fucking preach like, don't get a fucking super sport for your first bike, and I just go like, yeah, you probably shouldn't, but what the fuck do I care? Knock yourself out, motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've never listened to what anyone says about any of that kind of stuff. I get the stuff I want to get, and that makes me happy. So you should do the same.
Real quick, I just want to. Busted Nugs asked, "What's the cheapest beer of the shame?" And I'll go ahead and, I know you're trolling me on this one, but I'll say, whenever somebody goes, "What's the cheapest thing here?" when they walk up to the bar, I always respond with, "You motherfucker."
That's golden. Oh God. And I'm never gonna leave that place when I get there.
Do we carry Zima? Not since Bill Cosby stopped date raping people.
Oh, that's
First
awesome.
bike, GS500. GS500, awesome first bike as well.
Yep.
Especially super cheap, easy to work on, plentiful all over the place. GS500, excellent first bike.
Yep.
Bronson Birch asked, Lee, how often do you have to change the clutch on your dyno?
I haven't. I haven't at all yet.
He goes in like, it seems like I'm running through clutches. It seems like your clutch is probably not adjusted right if you're running through clutches. A clutch is something you change. Anybody watching this right now, if you have to change a clutch more than twice in the entire life of a motorcycle, unless it's a dirt bike, you're probably doing something wrong.
Yeah, it depends on how you ride. I guess like I'm a major clutch abuser, and it depends on what you're riding and blah blah. But I mean, like on my Harley has the stock clutch in it since it was brand new, as far as I know. Like I bought that bike with 22,000 miles on it already, and then I've been abusing it since then, and I haven't done any work to the clutch at all. But you look at like my stunt bikes and stuff, and I use that clutch so often on those things. Like, yeah, I'll put 2 clutches in a season in a stunt bike. So, but yeah, my Harley, nothing.
Keemstar surgeon. I do not identify with Keemstar. I just want to say that. Like, Keemstar is a fucking piece of, and I love Max Booz is my fucking boy. That guy's fucking awesome. But I do not identify with Keemstar whatsoever. I watch Keemstar and I think he's funny. I do not think I'm like Keemstar at all. Fuck.
Keemstar surgeon. That's golden.
I'm not. No, I'm not. Roar Dog Northern goes, best bike for a big man, any bike, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much, yeah. it's like it's back to that first bike question kind of thing. You know, get what you want to get.
Yours not. You don't even fucking worry about it. Just fucking ride.
Yeah.
Lynn Ryder goes 250 versus 450. A 250,
I guess we're
have a lot of fun on. A 450 will kill you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're talking 2-stroke versus 4-stroke here. So, I don't know. I love 2 strokes, but I got to go with the 450 just because, like, it's just way more usable power. There's way more there, and it's just way more controlled. And there's just, I don't know. You can't stack the two together. That's just impossible. The 450 murders it. Everyone 2-stroke diehards will fucking argue with me forever, but I mean, jump on a 450 and tell me you're not faster.
No, 450s are fucking are insane. Even I will say even this, like I've got my 300, and I've got in my garage right now is also an XCW 350, and I will tell you the 350 feels like right on par with the 300.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that fucking 2-stroke gears, that thing is savage.
They are, and I'm gonna set it up so it's better, but like stock, it's not a 450. You know,
yeah, no, like it's a totally different kind of power, right? Like yours it's pretty much on or off kind of thing. Like you're either, you know, putting it or you're ripping balls.
Right.
there's no in between.
It putts well. Like it just like it's usable power. So it's like down low. It's just like it's so usable. It's just like you just gotta like putt around. It's like riding a scooter. I mean, it's just like it goes everywhere. It just tractors over everything. And then I actually never. That's why I'm going to eventually go with a gnarly pipe, because it puts everything down low and it kills the top end, because I never use the top end.
That's actually what I used to run on my bikes, like for doing FMX and stuff and doing like the natural terrain stuff. I used to run the gnarly pipe because it's all low end and mid range. So, and that's what you want in that kind of situation.
I just don't use the top end power at all. I never use it.
Plus the thing is like a way thicker gauge steel too, so it's harder to fucking destroy those pipes.
Well, it's just weird, man. Like you think like, you know, when I used to do Banshee shit, it was all about that fucking top end hit. And now that I ride this bike, it's there, I guess, but you never use it. It's almost like building a 2-stroke that's better at being a 4-stroke than a 4-stroke is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impossible to stall. Like you just can.
Yeah.
It's so you can just like like ting it along so low. Like, I mean,
Well, that helps a lot with your bike because your bike's meant for off road too. So they got
all day long.
Yeah, your bike's meant for that shit. Like you got like it comes with the flywheel in there to make it be able to do that kind of stuff. So that's really nice with yours.
Yeah, it's weird. Oh shit, my fucking mouse stopped working. There it goes. All right. Honda 5.
What else we got here?
Yes.
Yes.
What are we doing there? Shifting without clutch, of course. A bunch of Keemstar. I'm not Keemtree. I'm not. Man. I identify with Colossal as crazy so much more than fucking Keemstar. You watch Colossal as crazy?
Well, no, I've never heard of him actually.
Oh man, he's fucking great.
There's so many like YouTubers that so many people are familiar with, and I'm like, what? I have a hard time like still just diving into all this. There's so much out there. It's hard to find a lot of this stuff. Like as soon as I get into one genre, then there's like 5 more spring up after it.
Oh, it's bizarre, man. I've gotten into the commentary genre a little bit just because I do commentary.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good dudes doing it, you know.
I have a hard time, like, well, obviously, like people that watch my shit, they can tell 100% where I draw a lot of my inspiration from is fucking Casey Neistat. And like watching, you know, I don't agree with what that guy has to say probably half the time, but like his videos are incredible all the time. And then that led me to Yoon Olsen or John Olsen, however his name's Yoon Olsen, but it looks like John Olsen. That's what everybody says. And then all of a sudden this guy comes on the scene and like fucking just blows him out of the water, man. Like watching somebody like that, it's so hard to watch like one of these other vloggers that's just walking around with like a point and shoot camera because like he's walking around. He's walking around with he's got his own filmer. He's filming his vlogs on a fucking $70,000 Red Epic. So like his quality is unmatched on the internet right now. It can't be touched. And then try watching like a normal, like somebody filming a vlog with a GoPro after that.
I feel that way about, and I got some questions from the audience I want to ask you, but I feel that way about regular moto vlogs. It's like, step up your fucking game, man. You know, like I watch all these people and it's like, what you can do with a Hero 3, you don't even have to have a 4 or a 5. If you have a Hero 3 Black, you can make amazing fucking content.
Exactly. Like the whole first year that I did this, the entire first year was all done on a GoPro. If you go back and watch those old videos, and some of them, I mean, don't watch like the first 3 because they're shit and horrible. But like after I kind of figured out what I was doing,
I remember, like, you know what? One of the you know what's funny? Like one of the videos that you did that's like always gets recommended to me is that sports build you did.
See, that video is always getting views all the time.
Always gets recommended to me. And what's funny is I remember talking to you about that. I remember you going like, "Oh, I remember you saying that I shot this whole thing with a Hero 3."
Yeah, and I didn't even like, and I didn't even plan on shooting a video or any of that stuff.
Your cinematography in that video is amazing.
And like, I didn't even know what I was doing back then, and like, didn't even plan on shooting a video either. It was just like I was riding that thing to test ride it before the guy came out, and I was like, oh shit, I got like my camera's still stuck to my helmet. It's got like half battery. Let's make this happen real quick before it dies. And that was it.
So like, don't let cameras hold you back. Like you could buy a 3 Black for fucking $200.
Yeah, like I preach quality and stuff all day long because just I'm probably the most like nitpicky person, especially when it comes to my own shit. Like I can watch somebody else's stuff that has like a shit camera and whatever, but as long as their content is good and they're putting it together well, like I can totally watch that. But as far as my own stuff, like I probably, if I got like the same $70,000 Red Epic, if I went and made a vlog on that right now, I probably still wouldn't be happy with it just because I'm my own worst critic.
I actually don't even watch my own videos. I never.
It's hard, right?
It's like being a chef and tasting your own food, man. I don't even watch them. Like I make them and I watch them when they're in the editor. Like I use Final Cut. I use Final Cut too. I'll watch him in Final Cut when it's all like choppy and weird because Final Cut kills my computer. And then once I render it and upload it, I never watch him ever. Not a single one.
Yeah, I have such a hard time with that shit, man. Because like, yeah, people will come over here or whatever and be like, "Oh, let's watch one of your videos or some shit," or someone that hasn't seen one before. Like, show me one of your videos, and I'm just like, no, just watch one at home or something.
Well, that's the whole thing. You can't watch one. You have to know it. You know,
because it's hard to sit there and watch your own video.
A real fan and a real subscriber is built off of multiple videos, not one fucking video.
Yeah, totally. I need to turn some lights on in here. Everyone's fucking still asking.
Yeah, everybody wants to see your fucking face, man. Luke Michalowski, I feel like I might have said that right, says Lee's video blows Casey's out of the water.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I have had people like compare me to that dude sometimes, and I'm like, that's like an honor to me because like that's one of the guys that really made me want to step up my game.
David Miller says Mako 700. What's your thoughts? It's awesome. I mean,
yeah, it exists. It's cool, but there's only like 2 or 3 of them on the planet, so
yeah. Well, I feel like Mako's was one of the first, at least moto people to like really make a big 2-stroke.
Yeah,
a couple of different people make them now, but Mako was kind of a pioneer in that industry.
There we go. I'm all lazy as fuck on the couch. Here we go. Oh, look at that! Look at that sun flare coming off the light. I'm getting cinematic in a live stream.
Oh my god, are you like weird Canada not right now?
A really bright ass light behind me, but it looks like a sun flare. Damn, that's fire right there. Okay, cool. Well, now that I know everyone can see
to do with the beard. Which one, motherfucker?
Well, you've been the one on camera the whole time, so that guy right there, Shade Tree Surgeon, you don't know who he is. You better go check out his channel and recognize, bitch. This guy's like the guy that got me really into this stuff. I'll tell that story. Like this guy, I reached out to you like randomly. I was just like one of those weird kids.
I got you into motovlogging? Fuck you. No, I didn't.
Yeah, so well, like here, my computer's unplugged. Yeah, like I was like one of those weird kids that just reached out to you in the comments or whatever, and I had like my very first horrible video, and I was like, "Hey, man, check out my video," kind of thing. Like basically like the faux pas of comment section.
Did I do it?
About it, and you did. You totally went on my you subscribed to me and shit, and then we started talking and stuff and blah blah, and then like you introduced me to the guys of the Faggot Force, and we are here today. But
that's weird.
Like the first person I saw was Sub D that I actually liked. I came across a few people and was like, oh, this is kind of gay, actually. I don't want to do this. And I came across Sub D and I was like, oh, this guy's doing wheelies and he's being kind of an asshole. Like he's entertaining, man. I could keep up with this. And then I saw a few other people that I dug. I ended up stumbling onto Derek because of him. And then yours was next, though. I don't know how the hell I came across yours, but like the first video of yours was the hipsters on motorcycles thing. Well, that one I was like,
it went kind of viral. A lot of people saw that.
When I came across and I was like, this guy is fucking awesome. I was like, this guy seems like someone I want to be friends with. I
met Sub D early on too. Like, what's funny about Sub D is he actually, like, I was talking to him when he had nothing. I mean, he started. He's so good at YouTube. He's so good at what he does, and
he really is
videos. And he's an amazing writer. Like the dude is insane.
Yep.
I mean, he's so good at it. But I remember I started talking to him. We started like jiving when he had like dozens of subs, and he was so good. And I remember going like, "Oh my god, you're gonna do really well!" And goddamn, his channel like blew the fuck up. Because he did.
Yeah, I think when I started watching him, he had like 20,000 maybe, and then within like a couple months, he was breaking that 100,000 right away.
I mean, he just did everything right. You know, it's like put all the ingredients in the blender; they're gonna taste good.
Everyone's thinking I'm fangirling on you.
Oh, fuck off! I fucking do it on Lee all
no.
the time, man. You guys don't even see it on the chat. I pick his brain all the time on how to ride. So it's like, check this out, man. Like, I've been doing YouTube. I've been doing YouTube longer than you have, and so I have more subscribers. But like, God, when it comes to riding, that's what fucking gets me, man. You're just.
I mean,
I'm good at.
I'm all about
good at everything. You want to hear me fangirl? I look at Lee. I'm just like, why are you good at everything? Everything. I guess that's because you don't show the stuff that you suck at.
Yeah.
Everything you put on there, you're good at. You're just like, you're good at writing. You're good at welding. You're good at wrenching. You're good at fabricating. Like, I'm like, fuck you. Go fuck yourself. Like, Jesus Christ.
Man, that's why I don't show any ex-girlfriends on my channel. You'll find out some shit that I suck at.
That's my whole thing. Is like anybody who. So you get a lot of guys who ride here who've never attempted to do a wheelie. Just like the most simple motorcycle trick you can do, like do a wheelie, like make it go on one wheel, and the ease that Lee does it with on a bike that I know how much that bike weighs because my bike weighs more, and to try to do it on my dirt bike, which weighs 220 pounds, and to watch him do it better on a bike that weighs 700 pounds makes me want to fucking punch him in the mouth.
It just comes down to like, I've been doing it my entire life, right? So it kind of just comes naturally at this point. There was a time when
do it a lot. What do you want to get good at? And there it is. What do you want to get good at? Do it a lot.
Yep, that's just it, right?
How do you get good at wheelies? So, try to do them every day.
Yeah, do them as much as you can, and biggest thing about getting good at any form of stunt riding or like freestyle motocross or whatever, right? Is people ask about that all the time. Biggest thing is in your head, knowing that you're gonna fuck up and crash. If you can accept that inevitability, you'll get good at it. Because everybody, like, the biggest thing, they'll just get scared and butt pucker all the time and be like, I'm too scared to try this trick. I'm too scared to try this wheelie and whatever. But then there's the guys that are like, all right, there's a chance that this could really fuck me up. But then there's a chance that I could totally get some glory and probably take this guy's girlfriend right now. So I'm going to go with it. So that's really it.
Jabova Thickness says, do you think you need beefed up motor mounts to start a dyno?
No, not really. I mean, like, guys are running them now, and it definitely helps from cracking cases and stuff. But as far as like it being a necessary item, not really. So, but definitely, if you're in the position to do it right off the bat, do it. I'll say that.
Yeah, well, it can't hurt. How expensive is it? It can't hurt.
Yeah, like, I guess, like, if it depends on what you do and what your resources you got, right? If you got access to welding equipment and stuff where you can beef up those mounts on your own, fuck yeah, get on that before you really get into it. That was something I wish I did. And I still haven't done it. Now that I'm actually kind of good at wheeling a Harley, yeah, the odds of me breaking it are a lot less.
And let's hear it from you, Lee. We've always talked about, like, you're good at wheelies, you're good at fabricating, what do you suck at? Besides getting a job and like having a monogamous relationship.
Yeah, I suck at. Yeah, that'd be the number one. Not being a total fucking man skank would be the hardest thing. I suck at that. Not crying at the end of My Girl. Cave spelunking. I don't know.
Damn,
that kind of shit.
Off the bat. No, but like,
I don't know.
Let's to do with moto and bikes and all that. What part do you suck at?
Some of the stuff, like, I guess the gnarly stuff that's happening now. I guess like 10 years ago, when I was like the gnarly guy in the sport, it was a totally different field. But nowadays, like, I wouldn't be able to work up the fucking balls it takes to do like a backflip kiss of death on a dirt bike. You know, that's something I want nothing to fucking do with.
Oh,
That,
go fuck yourself. You suck at doing backflips, you fucking homo.
you know, stuff like that. Like, you know, working up to like the really big gnarly stuff. Now that I'm older, I really don't have that kind of edge in me anymore. I guess that's kind of what I'd suck at motorcycle related now. And I suck at maintaining my own bike. It's super funny. Like, I'm fucking the worst at maintaining my own bike, even though I'm a mechanic and shit. Like, if somebody else brings me a bike, I will treat that thing old like I'm working on that thing with fucking latex gloves and shit, and just like everything's perfect all day long. Comes to my own bike, I'm like, I probably should have changed the oil like 3 months ago. Yeah.
So
Fuck it. Let's let it go.
Anyway.
Yeah, just that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Eagle Herrera asks, dirt tracker ? And I will say yes, dirt trackers are cool, but it's just an outfit. It's nothing but it's nothing but a suit. That doesn't make it good on the dirt.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it looks real cool and stuff, but you know, my Dyna went on the dirt just as well as a fully dirt tracked out Sportster did. And it did pretty well.
I want to say this on top of that is like dirt trackers, what was it? Sportsters that are turned into fucking off-road bikes and fucking the scramblers. The category of scramblers is a lie. You're not going to take that bike off-road. Like, look at the Yamaha SRC 90 or SRC 900 scrambler. It's got like 3 inches of rear suspension travel. Like that, but you're not taking that bike off-road. Like, it's a joke.
Yeah, no shit, right? I mean, I would, but I'm a fucking idiot. But I mean, as a normal person, no, they wouldn't. It's just really like a cosmetic thing.
Right. But well, you're looking at the SCR 900 scrambler that has 3 inches of rear suspension travel. And that's a $10,000 bike. For literally half that money, you could buy a WR250.
Yeah, and have a real off-road bike that you can do stuff with.
If you want to go off-road, buy an off-road bike.
Yeah. We're talking the real WR250, not that bullshit fucking on-road supermoto thing.
Right, yeah. Or honestly,
because they got 2.
The WR250X is sorry, everybody who rides one, it's a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that thing's not a real WR, but those things are selling like crazy. Like, those are really popular in the supermoto world.
Anybody who, if you want an off-road bike that you can also ride on the street, there are ways to make that happen. And just do your research, you can make it happen. Even in states that are really strict about it, you can make it happen. You just have to do your research.
Yeah, you just have to go about it the right way. Like, we can do it here, even though technically we can't. They tell us we can't here, but it can be done. It's just a matter of going through the right channels and doing the right shit to your bike. So, what else we got? Let's see what
the Lone Rider
questions are still coming in pretty goddamn fast.
Honda Monkey 125. Yes, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
They should have made that from the very beginning.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty awesome, man. I'm super stoked for that. Hopefully I can fucking afford one so I can put it beside my vintage fucking little mini bike, because that'll be awesome.
By the way, if you guys haven't, if you're watching this and you haven't seen Lee's like stunt bikes in the hood on a fucking 40-year-old mini bike.
Yeah, a 49-year-old mini bike with no rear suspension. It's a hardtail. And doing wheelies for miles and miles on end. That shit's hilarious. I really got to get another mini bike built up that I could beat the shit out of, because I'm like starting to throw a beating on that little bike, and that thing is like, that's a piece of history. That bike's worth lots of money, and I don't want to fuck it up.
Alex,
at the same time, I ride
sled vids. What's up?
Well, I don't own a snowmobile, so probably not. I don't know. I'd love to, but I don't have one. So I might be able to snag one before the year's over. I'm hoping to kind of fit that in. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It very well might when the Z125 backflip goes down.
Hopefully they'll just give you one.
Yeah. Well, the spot we're doing it at, my buddy has his sleds and stuff there. It's the same spot I rode last year with all the ramps and shit. And so chances are somebody there will say, jump on my sled, and I can go hit some of the jumps and do a little bit of stuff and see if I got any tricks left in me. So
being able to get like just do a trick is amazing to me. Like
it was like
I'm
such an eye opener to me.
Back into it. I'm getting back into it. Like I haven't ridden. I've ridden my dirt bike one time since I broke my foot. You know, like I'm just so
yeah. It takes time
to talk about it. You know.
Yeah, it takes time to come back from like fucking yourself up really sometimes, either mentally or physically.
I mean, there's a lot of other stuff that went along with me not riding, but it was just like also that was there, you know, and also the fact that I was like I told myself I'm not going to go out and ride moto again until I have a real pair of boots.
Yeah,
and having a real pair of boots costs like $600 fucking dollars.
Yeah, no shit. Like I said, a good Alpine Stars is not cheap, man. That's like a couple mortgage payments.
It's no joke.
Yeah.
So it's like not only going like like I'm fucking I had to save up to buy the boots, and about the Garins.
Oh, the SG12s or whatever.
Yeah, I got SG12s.
Yeah, those are sick boots too.
And they don't have the Alpine Stars have like that like where you can move your foot. They get that like joint.
Yeah,
but I didn't.
That's why
I was. Just
that's
like,
what's sold me on for so long is because
I want my foot to be in a concrete cast.
Yeah, that's what always sold me on the Alpine Stars is because like I've got a really fucking bad ankle on the left side, and having that added little thing in there that I can put in the stiffer, whatever things, the stiffer hinges in there. Fuck, that helps. All right, what do we got here?
Food. American food is every food. So American food. Christopher Kursop says, "What are you vaping? You fucking homo." He's a homo, so probably semen.
Yeah, pretty much.
Northern says, "Longest road trip on a bike."
Never done one, to be honest with you.
Man, I've gone pretty far before. I've gone a couple thousand miles, but I've never done my whole. You know what I hate is people who go like, "Oh, if you're gonna ride, you have to ride like 600 miles in a day." That's fucking retarded. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Why fuck yourself over, man? Like I like 300 miles is my max. I'm just like, dude, I'll do 300 miles, 2 tanks. I do 2 tanks. And then I'm like, it's time to fucking party.
Throw me on like a brand new Road King with like the backrest and fucking a radio and cruise control and all that other shit they got on there. Shit, I'll do 600 miles in a day, no problem. Sitting there in fucking full comfort.
I just
do it on a like
beat yourself up. Like I'm gonna prove that I'm a man by like enduring 600 or 700 miles on a bike. It's like no.
I get shit for that.
I'll find
so much like people. Oh yeah, like people saying to me like, "Oh, you're not a real biker unless you put on like some serious miles." I'm like, "You're gonna tell me I'm not a real biker, motherfucker? Like, suck my balls." Like, just because I haven't done like fucking 1,000-something mile road trips before doesn't mean I don't know what I'm doing on a motorcycle.
Tim's in here. Tim, fucking get in here.
Tim, jump in. Yeah, you want to jump in? The thing's in the chat still, or in the Super Faggot Forest. Do I like Victory's Indians?
People have asked a couple questions about Indian. I've got high hopes. I hope that Indian will make some sportier bikes.
Yeah.
I really do.
I really hope so too. I hope they take because they were making some good strides with Victory. Like the Octane was something that really caught my eye. It had potential to go somewhere. Like that seemed like the bike they were building to compete with like a Dyna or something like that. It wasn't quite there yet because they still had like forward controls and a few fucking stupid wonky things on there that they should have done differently. But hopefully they'd take like that kind of stuff and put it into the Scout and make that bike like a little ripper or something, and it'll sell for sure. If they make that bike a performance-oriented bike, it'll sell like crazy. And I really think they're gonna, because they've got that Scout flat tracker thing going on there, and they've been pushing out quite a few of those to the racers and stuff. So something tells me that they're going to do something like that.
They're supporting racing is a huge deal, and
yeah, and with flat track racing is where all of these American companies came from.
Oh my god!
So,
Eagle Herrera Indian is going to go like EBR. Like, you don't understand. It's got the full push of Polaris behind it, and Polaris is an insanely huge company.
Yep.
Like, they've got money. They chose to kill Victory to focus on Indian. Like, and that makes me go like, okay, maybe something can happen out of it.
I think so too, and like, I think they are banking on the name of Indian to make that successful. I think that's why they made that decision, to be honest with you.
And it bummed me out at first because it was just like, because Indian, the bikes they produce right now are lame. Like, they don't make a single bike that I'd buy.
Like, they're a good bike, don't get me wrong, but I mean, there's nothing that excites me about them, to be honest with you. So
Indians, Victory's always been niche. I mean, for 15 years they've been a niche American brand.
Yep.
And they've never really performed the way Polaris wanted them to, sales-wise or otherwise. And Indian is. So it's just a business decision, more than anything. You can't blame them.
Yeah. I'm just going to go ahead and time out this fucking dildo that keeps saying rape in the thing.
Yeah, I'm surprised it took that long. If you'll set me to if you will set me to administrator, I'll be the usual dickhead that I am.
Oh, I have no idea even how to do that.
Okay. Good job.
I don't know. I'll stay on it. Yeah, dude, setting up these live streams is so hard for me. I still can't wrap my head around it. But
I think if I post a comment, you might be able to do it with the 3 dots on the outside chat. Set me to admin.
Oh, can I?
That'd be sweet. Here, let me send a random comment.
Yeah. While you're doing that, everybody else, if you don't know this guy with the blue and yellow picture going on, that is Tim Kreitz. Go subscribe to Tim Kreitz. That's another guy that I draw a lot of inspiration in my videos from. His shit is very similar to mine and very different at the same time. But if you like, high quality edits and that kind of stuff, like the shit you see in my videos, a lot of that stuff I get from Tim. So go check his shit out.
Thanks, man.
And oh yeah, totally. I bite a lot of your style that you don't even know.
and then I bought a lot of yours back, so it's
sweet. You're moderating.
Cannibalistic.
3 dots. Yeah, totally.
What's up, Amy? What's up, Crash? What's up, everybody?
It's actually incredible that there's still 71 people here fucking watching at 1:15 in the morning.
People love these hangouts, man. And
this guy's got a troll account and he's back.
So he's probably got 10 of them.
Oh, probably.
Troll account. Let me tell you something, man. If you have troll accounts, kill yourself.
Honestly, like, yeah.
If your thing is, if all you have,
that's coming from Tim Kreitz too.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, if you have troll accounts and your thing is putting stuff like that in side chats and thumbing down people's videos 10 times with all your accounts, just kill yourself. You have no meaning on this world. You're just a drag of humanity. You're just mass.
I want to say shit. Goddamn! If
Tim Kreitz is saying that about you, your life is fucked up.
Yeah. If the dome of knowledge has thrown you down in the gutter that hard, you've got problems.
Oh my gosh, man!
I would
Austin
like to
Wolf, where do you
think about the Ninja 300?
Yeah, I was just talking about that like a little while ago. Awesome fucking bike, super awesome.
Knock yourself
super pumped
any
on what they're
Ninja, any Ninja 250 or 300. Please do. Like, goddamn, what a great bike! It's on par with the Rebel 250.
Yep, 100%. Oh, Mason with the comment here. I like that. What bikes did you guys start on or grow up on? I'll let you guys go first.
Fuck, I started on a horrible bike. When I was a teenager, as in when I was 17, I bought a 1989 GSXR 750 for $400. That's a really fast motorcycle for a really dumb person. And I wrecked it very quickly and hurt myself very badly. I've actually got a huge scar on the side of my head over here. When I go bald, that'll be visible because I fractured my skull because I was doing wheelies in front of girls on that bike and crashed it, and without a helmet,
Nice.
wearing cowboy boots and a wife beater, and I crashed the fuck out of that bike and fractured my skull and broke my leg.
Wearing cowboy boots on a Gixxer. That's so West Texas. You live in the wrong state, man. Do that all the time out here. Some dude wearing a Western shirt and cowboy boots riding a sport bike.
I can't even tell you what kind of boots they were. Justin cowboy boots.
Heck yeah. I'm wearing Justin's right now, man.
And a wife beater, and I had this. It was on the 4th of July, and I had a keg party at my house, and I was fucking. People were like, "Fucking pull out the bike," and I was like, "Ah, fucking no, I'm gonna do it." They're like, "Pull it out, you won't." I was like, "Bitch, I won't." And then I crashed. Then I crashed, and I had to go to the hospital. I probably had that bike for 6 months before I fucking wrecked the fuck out of it.
I bet you never even had a title or registration on that thing.
No. I never had a title. It had a stolen tag on it.
Nice. That is so rad. That's so Shade Tree.
Oh my god, dude. Well, that's how everybody. I mean, fucking. I bought it off of Carney for $400. You know, it didn't. It was no.
Did you buy it in Gibtown?
Yes, I bought it in Gibsonton.
Right on.
Off of Carney for fucking no tag, no title. Fucking, you know, friend of a friend knew somebody who had it. Like, had the fucking when he sold me the bike, like I went up there, he's like, you know, it's not no fucking tag and no title. He goes, it might be stolen. I don't fucking know. And he goes like, you gotta, like, when it comes time for the next year, you just like steal a registration sticker off another car and put it on there. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Like he gave me the advice.
Oh, that's good.
Back in the days when they were all adhesive and you could just take one off whatever you wanted and stick it on yours.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, you're next. What was your first bike?
My first street bike, we'll start there, was in 1990, and it was a Rebel 250. So now my first motorcycle, the first thing I ever had that had two wheels and a motor was a 1977 Bonanza mini bike, which I still have, by the way. I got it the summer of 78 at 8 years old, and I still have it. I've got the frame and the forks, and my plan is to refurbish it at some point, but I just haven't done it. I'm afraid I'll spend the time and money on it, and then I'll ride it 3 times and never ride it again.
But there you go. The Rebel 250 is what brought the dome of knowledge, Tim Kreitz himself, into motorcycles.
And the main thing was when I was in high school in the late 80s, I wanted a sport bike. And you know, Top Gun had been out a few years before that. Top Gun came out in 86. And of course, you know, it was the GPZ, you know, Tom Cruise rode the GPZ and we all wanted ninjas. And of course, my parents, thankfully, were extremely smart and were not going to let a teenage kid have a bike like that. And so I didn't get a motorcycle at all in high school. I had to wait until I was in college to get one. Well, when I was in college, I was broker than a whore's heart. And so me and my brother went halvesies on this Rebel 250, and we took turns riding it. He would ride it to work, I would ride it to class, or he would take his truck, or I would ride it. And then one morning I was getting up to go to class, man, and I looked out the window and I heard this noise, and there was a dude with a truck and a trailer putting the Rebel on the back of a trailer. And I was like, holy shit, dude, get the shotgun. Somebody's stealing the motorcycle. And Eric was like, oh, dude, I forgot to tell you, I haven't made a payment on that thing in like 6 months.
Fuck.
So just like that, thankfully it was in his name, not mine. Thankfully, just like that, the Rebel was gone. And so it was another year or so before I could scrounge up the money to get another bike for the street.
Well, Lee, now it's your turn.
First bike was a CR60.
Oh, yeah.
Those things were fucking fast.
Yep.
That's why I stopped making them. They were like way too fast for a mini bike back in the day. Those things were savagely quick, and I smashed my ass on that bike so many times that you have no idea. Because like I'd ridden like a Z50 before, and you know that bike's automatic trans or automatic clutch and stuff. You know anyone can jump on one and ride it. And then jumping off that onto a full blown mini race bike and just dumping the clutch with the throttle wide open and smashing yourself over and over and over and over again for a whole day until I figured out how to ride that thing.
It's great. It's crazy because, I didn't start out on that bike at all, but I've ridden a couple of small 2-strokes, like what is it? The 65, the Kawasaki 65 2-stroke.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And like I rode that around, and it's KX65. Sorry, I rode the KX65 around, and it's ostensibly it's for children.
Yeah, it is, but it's fucking fast.
It's for children, but you ride it, and you're just like, what the fuck, dude? Who would put their child on this motorcycle?
Yeah. Well, the 70s and 80s were a different time. I did have a late 70s YZ80 2-stroke, and it was a manic little bike. You could really get yourself hurt on it, and I did. So it was a different time.
Go check out a national. Well, Tim, you're like in the Mecca, like you're in Texas, and there's big amateur national races there. You go see those kids on 60s racing, how fucking unbelievably fast they are.
I just went a couple of months ago, man, and those kids on 50 and 80cc bikes making the big jump on arena cross. It's astounding what those kids can do. Yeah.
This same motherfucker keeps coming back. I'm just gonna keep walking.
Yeah, just keep it up. Tell me, if you'd make me and Josh admins, if you'd figure that out, we could help.
I did. You are. You got a wrench.
Oh, yeah. I am. Look at that. All right, I'll be on the lookout now. You're a good man.
Yeah.
It's been asked a couple times, even though I feel like we answered this before. Best street bike, like when he says street bike, I assume you mean sport bike.
That's some vernacular that is changing. People. Street bike used to be a bike that was legal to ride on the street, and now people use street bike for. Usually, I hear it, especially with younger people, meaning a sport bike that is naked, an unfaired sport bike, a street bike. That's a street bike, but I want a sport bike or a super sport, or they call anything with full fairing super sport, when actually super sport used to be the 600cc class in the AMA.
Right.
So there's a lot of confusion.
And so there you go. Rebel or not Rebel, Ninja 250 or SV 650.
Like what's the better motorcycle of the two?
Or not? I didn't say that's not what they said. They asked. I said that's what I would suggest.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 250 or a 300 for your first street bike, meaning a bike that's legal to ride on the street, whatever you decide to buy, whether it's a sport bike or a cruiser or a standard or whatever. My suggestion is buy a good, inexpensive used bike, ride it around until you've got 6 months to a year of experience before you get anything that costs any money, because that's just good policy. And
my recommendation is always if you want to get into riding, I assume there's some people watching this right now who don't have motorcycles, who want to ride motorcycles. And I always say the same thing, do you have $2,000?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
And get $2,000.
Yeah.
That's what you should be worried about. Is you should be asked in the side chat, how do I get $2,000? Because
keep in mind too the common sense.
That's what it's going to take to get into bikes.
Yeah. Well, and what you're saying is absolutely correct. But you need to keep the total picture in mind. The cost of riding a motorcycle isn't the cost of the bike. It's maintenance and insurance and all the gear you need and the education you need to spend money on training. If you're brand new. So all that stuff is part of being able to afford a bike, being able to fix it when it breaks. If you spend all your money on a motorcycle and then you bend a rear rim and you start a GoFundMe to help me get a new rear rim for my motorcycle, you're stupid.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that was it.
I was just going to do one real quick. Clay FX DX. Yeah, I'm still running 17 to 20 pounds in my rear tire usually. I fucking totally knew that one was going to be a troll account. I saw it coming.
How many? He's
Tim
already
is on it.
he can't be making them. He already has them.
Yeah.
Somebody
well,
somebody watching this really wants to jerk me off or something, I guess. Whatever. They control all day. I'm not gonna pay you any goddamn attention. Anyways, what else we got
But
here?
yeah, $2,000. Have $2,000. Then think about what bike you want.
Yeah.
At least $2,000, and like probably more. Like motorcycling is having a motorcycle is not it's a luxury. I mean, it's not a.
It's a
not
toy.
something-
Yeah, that's why it's harder to get a motorcycle loan than a car loan. You know, it's the same thing why it's a little harder to get a boat loan than a car loan for the average person, because the bank knows that if your finances go to shit, the boat and the motorcycle and all the toys will be the first thing you stop making payments on. Your primary vehicle will be the last thing you stop making payments on. So, good one. Nailed him. That was quick. You got to it before I did.
Oh, now he's got friends here too, because there's
It's all right.
fucking. It's all right, cool.
That's
Keep
good,
going.
man. We got nothing better to do.
You got nothing but time.
Yeah.
Okay. So, would I do video on a snow bike? Yeah, we touched the snow bike thing a little while ago, but yeah, if I get to throw my leg over one or have one in my possession, you can expect some rad shit coming from a snow bike.
You've got 2 more months of snow solid, probably, right?
Yeah.
You got time to make stuff happen. Are you guys
It's
planning-
tough because right now it's been fucky this year. It's been like really warm and stuff lately for some reason. Like our snow's starting to melt. Like I think a week ago it was warm enough that it was raining, and that's really weird because usually this time of year it's like -30, -40. Like you don't go outside.
Right.
So I don't know.
Oh, Kerbaniac says not a toy in Cali. That's how you get everywhere all year.
Yeah,
But
and that
it
is definitely
it is a
a
toy.
cultural thing based on
Well,
geography.
but it still is because you look at the number of motorcycles on the road versus cars.
I guarantee you most of the people in California who have motorcycles, they still have a car or a truck.
Well, even then, like there are more motorcycles in California than any other state. Florida's number 2, but the amount of motorcycles that are registered is an infinitesimally small number compared to the number of cars registered.
Yeah,
motorcycles are a toy.
Generally
even
speaking,
if they're not to you, and they're not to me. Like I ride my motorcycle every day, but come on, they're a toy.
Oh, B-Rad's in the chat.
B-Rad, we need to get him a link.
Oh,
yeah, B-Rad, if you want to jump in here,
earlier.
feel free, sir.
I sent him a link early. Who's doing van stuff?
Okay, yeah.
He's always doing van stuff because he's fucking awesome. I want to do van stuff.
It gives him something to do while his bones are broken. Evil Knievel.
Oh man, like I was getting trolled so hard on my Snapchat the other day because I went and looked at a Transit, and I'm like very much considering trading my truck for one and doing this thing, and so many people were fucking talking shit like, "Oh, you're just trying to be B-Rad now? Don't complain when your arm was broken for 3 years." I started laughing so hard. I was just like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
Don't invoke the curse of B-Rad.
I would take that as a compliment. It's like, are you trying to be B-Rad? It's like, yes, I am.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I'm
like,
totally trying to be B-Rad.
I
want to live the dream in a van.
He rides like a banshee, and he's about to like embark on a fucking countrywide tour with motorcycles. Yes, I want to be B-Rad. Fuck.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you straight up that this whole thing about putting a bike or two inside of a large RV of some kind and just traveling the country, that got me on this whole kick of watching these YouTube channels where people, they just live in RVs or they live in vans or they just live on the road full time. They don't have a house.
Yeah.
And man, that takes a special kind of person to do that. But man, you would be surprised how many people do that. They don't have a house. They don't have property taxes.
I'd fucking love to do that. If I built that van outright or whatever, like, man, that'd be the best way to live ever. Just live like a gypsy, no address.
Yep.
fucking have 3 bikes in that thing and go to town.
Yeah, that
Well,
would be
like
totally
like
awesome.
Tim said though, the people that are who are not motovloggers, because motovlogging, everyone goes like, oh, motovlogging is oversaturated and all this shit. Like, no, it's fucking not. Like, dude, YouTube is so huge,
Yeah,
and all these people who do RV stuff, or who do kid stuff, or who do life vlogging, who do any of this shit, are so much bigger than
yeah.
any motovlogger fucking ever.
Yeah, like that's what I was saying before, like the whole thing of doing like the van thing and traveling all over and riding with rad people and checking out all this cool stuff. Like that would be such a fucking sick channel for growth and just for content in general, right? Like, you know, so many people watch a normal daily vlogger. Like think of Roman Atwood. How many people watch that guy? His videos are the most boring fucking bullshit in the world to watch. I'd rather shave my balls with a rusty butter knife. Like, but somebody with some actual talent doing some cool stuff, like that would be incredible to watch every day. So like if say B-Rad went and did that for a year, I went and did that for a year, or anyone really in this genre that we do, like it'd be interesting as hell to see that every day.
And like super interesting, because
Yeah.
it's what we care about in new locations, and nobody's done it yet. That's one thing, nobody's done it in motovlogging. And
That's just it.
Like B-Rad's on his way. He's gonna be the first person to do it. To go like, hey, I'm going on the road. I'm gonna do it everywhere. Like nobody else has done it yet.
That'd be. I'm just saying, because you're gonna beat me to it, B-Rad. Fucking, you come across the border, you better be making your way here. That's what I gotta say.
Well, we gotta see some fucking we gotta see some B-Rad Lee wheelies, man, together.
Yeah, you can totally break your arm on my Harley. I don't care.
Well, no, he's the first person to do it, and everybody's been talking about it, but he's fucking doing it, and that's fucking
awesome.
Dude. I'm excited.
That's been my dream for like a year now, and like, man, I'm so jealous he's doing it, but I'm so pumped at the same time.
No, it's crazy, man. I mean, and even like a couple years ago, I remember like Dan and Jake were talking about doing that RV thing across the country, but you know, it comes down to who actually does it.
300 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube per minute.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah,
YouTube is a pyramid scheme.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Like when you look at it, you like, how do you get successful on YouTube? And I don't think everybody thinks it's off of one video.
Yeah,
and it's not. I mean, one video is awesome, like that does well, but like people go like, oh,
it's a grind, man.
Video that gets like 1 million views, you can make a lot of money. And like, it's not a lot of money. You need like 100 videos that do 500,000 views.
More. Mm-hmm. Even more. Like it's crazy. Like, well, I wouldn't consider any of us in here as successful YouTubers whatsoever.
Oh no, I'm an utter failure at it.
Not even close.
But I've come by my failure honestly. So
and like, yeah, like none of us are successful at this yet. And think of how much work we fucking put into it. Like it's crazy.
It's a body of work though. That's what matters.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's building up a big body of work. Like, I mean, some people just get lucky, right? Some people get lucky and one video will fucking go off huge and then they start a channel and then all of a sudden they're, you know, in the hundreds of thousands of subscribers and they're doing it for a living. But most of the people have to really work at it and continually make videos and learn and get better and just do, you know, try and be different from the next guy.
Some of my favorite stuff on YouTube has low views and low subscribers, but it's some of my favorite stuff. It's, you know, it's kind of one of those deals where it's sort of I don't know, man, it's almost a luck of the draw thing. It's almost random. Some channels blow up and some don't, and there's often no rhyme or reason to it. Like, why did PewDiePie blow up? Why in the hell did that guy, how is he the biggest YouTuber? I mean, think about it.
There's nothing wrong
with him. I know he's funny.
Yeah.
He's funny. He's a pretty intelligent dude. He has some technical skill. I mean, there's nothing wrong with his channel. But why did it blow up? Why does PewDiePie have, what is it? God, I don't know, 50 million something?
50 something million. Yeah,
50
it's
something
pretty.
But I mean, you
million?
don't have to be the whole
But
thing.
Derek, who's just as funny.
You don't have to be PewDiePie to make money.
Yeah.
You don't have to be anywhere near that.
No, you
And
don't.
B-Ray just said,
PewDiePie was.
he goes, hard work doesn't mean you can make it happen. And there is that's absolutely true. It's a luck of the draw thing. It's like playing the lottery, except on YouTube, you can affect your odds by working harder.
Yeah.
So it is still a lottery. Like it is still like it's a luck thing, but you can affect your luck by how much work you put in. And do you put in a little work and you win? Yeah, that could happen. You put in the most work and you win. That can happen too, but you're more likely to win if you put in the most work.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Braden,
think
you're right. Arson
as
is
far-
way funnier than PewDiePie. Yeah, that's a perfect
Arson's
example.
fucking hilarious. That guy's a comedic genius. Like, I really wish he dedicated more time to his channel and stuff, and I'm sure he's going to again for sure. But man, he's he's probably like the guy I would watch the most, to be honest. Just because I can't watch a video without laughing, it's impossible. Yeah. So, what else we got here?
Right, and there he goes. He makes no money off of YouTube.
Yeah.
I'll also agree with the Ninja Nero thing. Ninja Nero is fucking
Ninja Nero. yeah, Nero's fucking awesome. What else we got here?
King Nero.
Something good.
King Nero.
Yeah, now he's King Nero.
Now King Nero.
I gotta get used to that.
One bike for the rest of your life, easy. BMW GS 1200 all day long.
Dad jeans.
Dad jeans, man, all day long. But you know it though. Like fucking that would be the fucking bike if you only had one.
I'd have to go like the KTM Adventure, but in the same category of bike, yeah, because that bike can kind of do a bit of everything in that kind of sense.
I do a KTM Adventure. I just feel like I always say BMW because they got the track record.
Yeah. I mean, someone's like not a dyno, but it's true. If you had one bike, like just one, you kind of want one that can do a bit of everything, right? Not just a dyno that you're gonna cruise or just do wheelies on. Because if I did that nonstop all day for the rest of my life, I'd probably start to hate it. But a GS or KTM Adventure or any of those, or even that Honda, the Africa Twin or whatever, stupidest named bike in the world, but it's fucking sweet.
The Africa Twins, they're so underpowered, man.
Something in that generally you can do everything with. That would be ideal to have for the rest of your life.
You know what I like though is the Multistrada. I think that's the one I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna get a
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
God,
those are nice.
It sounds so fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's one. Oh. Man, one thing, like, did you hear that, what the hell, that KTM 790 Duke or whatever the hell, that concept bike of theirs?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you should hear what that thing sounds like. Like, I already like that bike a lot, seeing just the photos of it and all that.
Is it a twin or is it a thumper?
Yeah. Yes, twin. The craziest sounding bike I've ever heard in my life. It sounds like the most savagely juiced up 450 you've ever heard in your life. It's so sick. Like, it revs up like fucking from idle to like, I don't know, like 10 grand and just like a snap, man. It's unbelievable.
I dig it.
I really hope they get that bike in production, because if they do, I will 100% own one, even if
I want to see all the Husqvarna concepts. Like, I haven't seen a single one on the road yet. Everyone keeps talking about them. I haven't seen a single one on the road yet, though.
Yeah, what the hell was that new one they just did?
It was what the hell they call it? Vitpeelan. It's a Vitpeelan 401 and a Vitpeelan 701. Yeah,
they made those two. Like, the one kind of looks like a mix between a sport bike and a supermoto, kind of banged each other, and then the other one's kind of like a scrambler type of deal, but it's the same platform.
And they've been fucking flaunting those things since like a few years ago.
Oh, look at this guy! Fucking took time to try and make another account because we blocked all the other ones, and you're gone. Boom.
But you got to hand it to him for the name on that one, Martin Luther King Hitler. That's like Abradorf Linkler. It's like,
oh, here's a good one. Favorite vintage bike. I will say, goddamn the what was that 3-cylinder Kawasaki?
What, the H2?
The H1.
Yeah, the original, the H1.
The H1 and the H2. Yeah, the originals from the 70s. Yeah.
Oh my god, you talk about a bike that didn't handle, ran like shit, broke all the time, and it didn't make a lot of them, but it went in a straight line about as fast as you could fucking go.
Oh, I don't know what my favorite vintage would be. I always just like lean towards the motocross side of things, so I think it would be like the 70s Honda Elsinore.
Oh yeah.
Because those things looked sick. Like they were like chrome and silver and shit from the factory. Like they looked badass
just
for
like
the 70s bike.
The old Makos did too from that same era.
Yeah.
Those Mako dirt bikes. Dude, they were just, I don't know, man. They were really aggressive styling wise for the time.
You know what I'd love to say though is like also a bike that was just in production for a really long time. Fucking VMAX.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The
what an amazing motorcycle.
Mr. Pachyderm, the VMAX. Yeah, it was a great motorcycle. It was great with a turbo
like,
on it.
Just so fuck you motor, like a fuck you motor.
Yeah.
Man. And people don't realize like that big fuck you 100+ horsepower motor and a little like I don't know, have you guys ever ridden one? They're fucking
never.
They're fucking tiny. They're so small. Like I got on one. It feels like riding a dirt bike. They're just like they're tiny bikes.
Which one are you talking about?
The old VMAX.
Oh, the old VMAX. So they sit real low. They're real wide though.
And you get on it, and it just feels like nothing. They've been. What did they make that bike from? Like 1983 to like into the 2000s. They made that bike.
Dude, we both hit that the same time on that block. And the option it gave me was unblock, and I was like, "Why is it giving me an option to?" Oh
yeah,
you beat me to it. Yeah, my cousins, my cousin and my uncle, they were all into my cousins and my uncle, their dad were all into high performance Kawasaki's in the late 70s and early 80s, and my uncle had a 70. I think it was a 74 or 73 H2 750. The Kawasaki H2 then was a 2-stroke triple, and that bike was an absolute bastard. It was back in the days when Kawasaki just built the most badass engine they could come up with, and they put it in the shittiest frame with the worst brakes.
I love it. The Widowmaker.
The Widowmaker. And so in the 90s, I found one. In the late 90s, I found one, and I bought it for a few $100, but I never got it running right, and I ended up getting tired of it. Mine was a 75, and I sold it, and now I'm regretting that. I should have just put it in the backyard or something and just left it there, because I would sure like to have that bike now with the resurgence of the H2, now that they brought the H2 back as this incredible supercharged beast.
Go Kawasaki is what we're saying.
Yes.
Like Kawasaki is just the fucking hard on of motorcycle manufacturers. It's just they're so they're just like so they're vulgar. Yeah. That's how they do it. So they just make a vulgar engine.
Violent engines. That's exactly right. But they've always been like that ever since the Z1A. That was sort of their answer to the CB750. Was the Z1A, and it was incredible at its time. A 900cc inline 4-cylinder that made almost 90 horsepower. That was unheard of. They took that thing on the Nürburgring, and it did something like 140 miles an hour, which at the time was unbelievable.
Man, it'd be gnarly to test bikes on the Nürburgring because that track is fucked.
Oh, yeah.
It is not a nice or smooth track by any means. Like you see the cars go through some of those sections and they're just getting worked.
Yeah. In fact, I watch a moto vlogger from Germany called Wanderlust. If you guys have ever seen his channel, he's been vlogging for longer than me, and I mean, I wish his channel it was bigger than it is. I think he just got a couple hundred subs, and he's been at it for like over 3 years. But he goes to some of the coolest places in Germany. He has a series called the Explore Germany series. It's kind of like me with my Explore ghost towns and ruins of West Texas and all that. And he went to Nürburgring on this motorcycle day. It was like an open motorcycle day where they opened the track up, and there's just like hundreds of German dudes on motorcycles riding around the Nürburgring. And what you said is exactly true. You can watch it as he's riding through, and you think, man, that's some gnarly bad patches of asphalt.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I'm glad they're only doing whatever 80 or 90 miles an hour instead of 180.
No shit.
Yeah.
I mean, like that track, that'd be a terrifying experience to try and set like a fast time on that track. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah. Just memorizing it seems impossible to me.
Yeah, no shit.
The old school guy, like the old school 70s videos of crashes on Nuremberg because they're so fucked up.
Like, I don't even hundreds, possibly thousands of laps I've done on that track in video games throughout my life, and I still don't have it memorized.
Same here. Forza. I can't tell you how many times I've gone completely around it in so many different versions of Forza.
Oh yeah,
still
between Forza and Gran Turismo, like those two games, I just Nürburgring all day long, and fucking I still can't memorize it.
Yeah, you get memorize little pieces of it, but you can never put the whole thing together in your head.
Yeah, the straightaway always gets me because there's that one like little weird zigzag in there that always fucks you. You get to like full speed and it's like, all right, we're cooking. And then all of a sudden, like, oh shit, you got to slow down for this thing, and then all of a sudden you're flying in the guardrail.
Yep. Yeah, Isle of Man, Luke. I have mixed feelings about the Isle of Man.
Isle of Man is like the fact that the word "man" is in the title is enough said for me. Like that is the fucking manliest of man shit ever. Mm-hmm. That is, I do some gnarly stuff, and I'm down for like doing gnarly stuff. I would not fucking race that race in a million years.
And I'll tell you, just me personally, I used to love the Isle of Man. I couldn't wait for the race. I watched it every year, but there was something about the year that Joey Dunlop died. I don't know, man, that one just hit me kind of hard, and I started to kind of look at the Isle of Man differently after Joey Dunlop died. And since then, I've kind of lost interest in it in a way. I mean, I always check the highlights and all that, but it's getting faster and faster, and the bikes are getting better and better, but the speeds are so ridiculous that, man, they're losing. I mean, how many people died last year? Five people, 6 people died?
Yeah, I think so. 5 or 6.
Yeah. And so,
it was a lot.
I don't know, man. I would never stand for. I mean, if they want to race, man, you're a sovereign individual. If you want to go race that, race it. More power to you.
Oh, yeah.
I would never stand up against the race, but it gets harder and harder as the years go by for me to get into that race because so many people get
I like
killed.
that though. I mean, I don't want to see nobody die, but the fact that people die with that frequency and people still do it.
I'm looking up Isle of Man deaths.
I mean, it is what it is, you know. I mean, I feel like more sports should be like that. You know what? Fucking bring in butterfly knives to football. Bet you it brings up the fucking attendance.
Yeah, pretty much. And the fact too, like the promoters of the Isle of Man, it's the same deal with them. They're like, oh yeah, you might die here. Tough shit. They're not pushing any kind of like crazy safety like you would see over here. Like that would never happen on this side of the pond in a million years. Yeah. They would never be allowed.
It could.
But over there, they're like, whatever. You know the risk you're putting yourself in. So
we could do that, but that's why like stuff like even the what do they call it when they do it with the cars? But they do it everywhere, and like all the people are watching. The off-road cars, they're not off-road, but they're like sort of rally cars.
Like
rally car racing.
Yeah,
okay,
like the shit they do with rally cars. You would never even see that in America or Canada. And
well, yeah, we do, but it's not on the level like they do overseas. Nowhere near.
It fucking hurts my feelings. I'm just like, this is fucking America. Like, why don't we have a fucking death sport like this?
Yeah, fucking Make the death race a reality.
Right. I mean, I want come on. I mean, give it to us.
Let's race 70s Camaros with fucking machine guns on them and make this happen.
Yeah, there's no reason we shouldn't have a fucking death race. And the fact that we don't, it just hurts my feelings.
Joey Dunlop won the Isle of Man 26 times before he finally died racing it. He's an all-time winningest.
Good on him. Good on him. Die doing what you love, man.
Yeah, that's true, man.
Yeah,
There's a lot
fucking
to be
legendary.
said for that. Yeah. John McGinnis was closely behind him at 23.
Yeah, I took John McGinnis can keep on winning them.
Yeah. Lap records.
Go bald and I'll be the guy from Death Race.
Oh, and that's right. Michael Dunlop, which is Joey's nephew, right? I think he set a new record at the 2016 race. He went around with an average speed of 133.96 miles per hour. Average speed.
That's savage.
That is savage. That means
because
that for a lot of the race,
there's spots of that you're going well under 60 miles an hour, like quite a few of them. So him to carry that kind of momentum all the time, to carry that kind of average speed is fucking ridiculous.
To carry an average speed of 133, imagine how much of your time on that course has to be spent over 200 miles an hour.
Yeah. I guarantee you fucking like Valentino Rossi or Marc Marquez or somebody, they would not be able to match that.
Mm-hmm.
What they should do is do this race like in Detroit.
Oh, that would be the best place on earth. Like if they want to revive
on supermotos with just a bunch of $100 bills taped to you.
That's the best idea ever.
Even
if it wasn't like that ridiculous.
everybody has $1,000 and $100 bills taped to them, and then you got to race around Detroit. I'm just spitballing here, but
that would be the greatest race of all time. Even if it wasn't that crazy, you just had a street race through Detroit, because half of Detroit is fucked anyways. You want to rebuild that city and make it good again? You want to get people in there, fucking have a race through the streets like the Isle of Man. That'd be fucking amazing.
I mean, you get nothing but fucking hood-ass motherfuckers who ride dirt bikes in Detroit anyway.
Oh, yeah. Have some fucking dudes who know those streets coming out killing fucking wheelies in the middle of a race or some shit. That'd be sweet. It's crazy to see what happened to that. I remember I rode in the Pontiac Silverdome years ago when that place was awesome still, and then seeing it now, it's just this decrepit. Well, I think they tore it down completely now, didn't they?
I don't think it's torn down, but it's abandoned. Rural Disturbance did a video where he snuck in there on his bike. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah,
that was incredible. I mean, of course, he got caught, but he has that movie star smile, and so the security guy was like, "Get out of here, you! Go ahead, go on, go home."
Every time he gets caught for something, that's the reaction he gets.
Yeah,
it was. You get it, man. I fucking hung out. I got to hang out with him when he was down here. We got to ride together. First off, he's 7 feet tall. It's fucking weird.
Yeah. Okay,
somebody brought up Ghost Rider. Fucking Ghost Rider.
Oh yeah,
is amazing.
On the streets of Paris back in the day.
Oh, I remember that guy. In early 2000s, he was a beast. He did such crazy shit.
How many people did that guy inspire to ride? I mean, a lot.
Oh, I couldn't imagine.
Talk about the YouTube generation,
Oh yeah, he was the first YouTube motorcycle superstar, really, if you think about it. And
he was
videos
actually.
Were floating around before there was a YouTube. They were just being passed around because they were.
They were being passed around in emails and shit when they were just email links of random servers holding on videos and shit before YouTube.
And so, what kind of setup did that guy use? What? I mean,
he mounted.
That's what I always
wonder
what he had.
Yeah, he mounted a camera to the bike. Yeah, just a video camera.
That shit existed. So I don't know how he was pulling it off and having some big ass fucking honking high 8 tape camera on a bike doing 250 miles an hour while getting chased by the cops.
I think he did.
When
I think he did get caught.
When YouTube became a thing, and even before YouTube, I remember watching him on E-Bombs World all the time. And he was aware that his videos were doing well, because I remember watching videos from him that were self-referential. That he did these like weird videos where he would like ride like a little kid's pedal bike by a cop car, and like he would like on video like turn around and flick off the cops all the time.
Oh, I fucking remember that one. Yeah, that was funny. I totally remember that.
Okay, so there were
actually one quick thing before we answer any more shit. Anyone watching this like after the stream ends, because like we can't see the comments in the chat after the stream is over. After the stream ends, drop comments down below and stuff if this is something you want to see more of, where like we get more people and actually talk bikes and be a little bit different than the Monday night stream. We'll make it happen. So if you want to see more of that, let us know.
Right on.
Now continue on.
I was just going to say, I looked it up. In 2016, there were 4 fatalities at Isle of Man, and the total number of racer fatalities, this is just the racers themselves, since the inception of the race, 252 racers have been killed in that race.
Oh my God.
Now that doesn't count officials, racing officials who have been killed, or spectators who have been killed. Which
250 racers, though.
Just the racers, 252.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
That's
insane.
pretty crazy.
Well, I'll say this: what I want to do, like, and again, people who are watching say this, like, I mean, what we're basically doing is a podcast, but I would like to do a focused podcast eventually.
Yeah.
Without so much booze in me.
Yeah, this is something we've been like talking about in our little chat for quite a while here now, is getting a second stream going of different stuff, of like, actually touching on racing and touching on bike topics and stuff, and answering more of you guys' questions and stuff like that, instead of just random fuckery and stuff. Like, we've got the regular Monday night stream where we can be stupid idiots and have a good time on there and stuff. We want to do something maybe a little more serious or whatever. So if that's something you guys are into,
topic focus,
let's make that happen. Because there's only there's only one other, let's just say there's one big stream where they talk about bikes and stuff, and I'm gonna say right now that they don't know their fucking asshole from their elbow, so somebody needs to do it. Someone needs to do it right.
well, I mean, I'll tell you, I don't know my ass from my elbows when it comes to a bike, like, really. I mean, especially not when it comes to that. But I mean,
you know a lot of shit. You know a lot about bikes, like history and stuff, and like different stuff. Like you reference bikes and shit that like I don't even know about. So yeah, Supercross, JT stunts. It's gonna be something in the future. Like, I want to add to that kind of stuff, like touching Supercross or MotoGP or whatever the hell season we're at, or what kind of racing is going on and stuff. Yeah, I want to touch on that stuff, because I'm a massive fanboy of racing and stuff. I watch everything. Literally everything that goes on. So,
God, you know what I love is the fucking the trials racing, where they go over those like wood piles.
Oh yeah,
and all this.
Man, one thing,
God, dude,
I found some dude. What the hell's his name? He's got like the shittiest Instagram name of all time. He's only got like a couple hundred followers, I think, or maybe like 1,000. Dude is so sick on a trials bike. Totally different than I've never seen before. He's doing like kind of mixing freestyle motocross and downhill mountain biking with trials. So he's got a trials bike. He's launching big ass jumps on the thing and hucking like stupid whips on it, because a trials bike weighs nothing. So he's whipping the thing all the way backwards and back again, and it looks fucking unreal, and doing like huge tricks and stuff. But he's also throwing down like the downhill mountain bike course stuff, where he's, there's wall rides and stuff set up and weird little jibs and shit. And he's doing sick stuff on that thing. It's super cool. And that's something that kind of opened my eyes, because I don't think anyone else is really doing something like that right now.
Here's a newbie question. Maybe this is something we should save for a podcast. But what is the fucking deal with scrubbing? Like going sideways on a jump. What is it? Like, I don't know. I see people do it and it looks fucking rad as fuck. But I'm like, what is it? Like, is there a point?
Yeah, the point of it is like you're able to carry a lot more momentum off of stuff. You're able to hit jumps way, way faster than you should be, and scrub off that extra bit of pop that you would get off of it, so that you're maintaining your lower to the ground, because everyone knows with racing, the fastest you're going is when the wheel's on the ground. And So instead of sitting there hanging in the air, jumping a Supercross triple or something, like if I went and jumped a Supercross triple normally, I'd be in the air probably 1.5 times as long as, say, like Chad Reed would be, because he fucking scrubbed the shit out of that thing and he'd go flying past me like I was standing still, even though we're jumping the exact same jump, because he came into that thing twice as fast, laid the bike over halfway over it, and he's not getting that pop over it that's going to send him 200 feet too far because of how fast he went. It's crazy. It's a weird science, and it's something that I'd never really grasped. Like, I can scrub a little bit, but not on the level like those guys are. I don't know how you come out to a jump twice as fast as you should be and just like have the confidence to just fucking pitch it over and drag peg and do what
Everybody
they do.
was kind of talking about James Stewart over there in the side chat, and that you want to talk about a dude who can scrub it.
Yeah,
dude,
he's the guy that brought scrubbing to racing.
Yeah,
in all
exactly.
honesty, like, actually, the very first guy to kind of do it was Jeremy McGrath, like, because he used to race BMX back in the day, and BMX racing, that scrubbing and pumping jumps has been around since the beginning of time. And
Jeremy McGrath, what a name, though.
Yeah, he's a fucking legend. Like, that guy, everyone's gonna know his name forever in any kind of motorcycle racing. And he kind of started the whole thing, but he never really had it. And then James Stewart came around, and all of a sudden, like, the game was changed. And that's why he was so dominant for so long, was because he was the only guy that could do it. But then, a year or two later, other guys were starting to figure it out, and now it's the standard. Now, if you can't scrub, go the fuck home.
Yeah, JT, the Bubba scrub. That's it.
That's where it started.
Well, there's a lot of things that are the standard now, like go big or go home. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, not just scrubbing, but
well, part of it kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the Isle of Man. It's just that, dude, dirt bikes have never been better. They are otherworldly now. I mean, compared to the dirt bikes we had when I was a kid growing up in the 80s, they're like spaceships compared to what we were racing back then. The suspension is so incredible.
Look at it too. And I talk shit about scramblers a lot because I think it's a really dumb motorcycle that doesn't have a place in motorcycling, because it's just stupid. Like, you're not gonna scramble on that, you fucking faggot. Like, you think you're gonna take that off road? You're crazy. But in 1976, you did.
Yep.
Like,
oh yeah, still look at a 70s dirt bike. The suspension on that,
like a Bonneville, 650. You had the street version and you had the off-road version. They're the same fucking bike, but except fucking Steve McQueen was jumping it, and it was still fucking like, it was not different. It was the same motorcycle.
It's so badass that Billy has fucking Steve McQueen's boot.
Yeah.
That's like the coolest thing ever.
Speaking of, they were talking about movies and stuff. Speaking of Steve McQueen, man, if you younger guys over there in the side chat or anybody else watching, if you have not seen the movie On Any Sunday from the early 70s,
oh, so good.
That is the quintessential motorcycle movie.
You want to talk a movie that'll make your fucking dick hard? Like,
yeah, that's the first motorcycle movie, like the first like dedicated motorcycle movie ever.
Yeah.
And like that's what
it'll make you want a fucking moto bike. If you're a street guy, like, do your thing. I get it, but it'll
like if
you want to buy a moto.
If you're a younger person, watching this, chances are you're gonna hate it. But if you're someone that's been around bikes for a while and stuff and you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and do it, because that's every moto movie you've seen since then, like the Krusty series or Nitro Circus or anything in that general area, that's all because of that movie.
Right. Yeah, it was all spawned from that. So from, even if you are younger, the historical value of that movie really can't be understated. I mean, it doesn't look like Nitro Circus. It doesn't look like any of
No, it's super cheesy and lame, like commentary and stuff going on the whole time, and the weird little fucking music from back in the day and stuff. It's kind of hilarious, but if you actually pay attention to what's going on, like, there's a lot of really good shit in there, a lot of fucking awesome history.
And Steve McQueen is in it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And the level of writing that's going on in that movie is off the charts.
Right.
Yeah.
We're talking about guys that when they were going through, if you were an AMA racer back then, you didn't just race motocross, or you didn't just race road racing, or you didn't just race GNCC. You had to race all of it. So you had to have a bike for every category, and you had to race the whole year in all of the categories.
Yep.
And that's how you were the national. That's how you got to be the national champion. They amalgamated the points somehow through all of the races, through all the different types.
Yep.
So it was a whole different thing. And those guys would do what the privateers, the champions of 40 years ago, did what the privateers of today do. They put their bikes in the back of a van and drug their ass across the United States and turned their own wrenches back then. It's amazing to watch.
Fucking half of them rode their bikes to the races and shit. They would fucking take their headlight off and all that stuff when they got there and put on their little pie plate, number plate, and then ride home afterwards.
Yep.
Like the most legendary guy in racing, like from that era. And actually, a question I get a lot is like where I get the 38 from is the legendary Ed Kretz. That guy is one of those guys, and that's the number he used to run. But like he was one of those guys. He was just a dude who was a farmer or whatever. Like he was a farm hand. He wasn't even a farmer. He was just like the fucking burly dude that chucked hay bales all day. And he would ride to the races with his fucking wife on the back, take off all the shit, race, put it all back on, and ride back home with her. Like that's pretty gnarly.
That's fucking nuts, dude.
Did you guys ever see on my Instagram the picture I have of Ed Kretz where I put an eye on his shirt so it says Kreitz?
I know. That's super funny.
It's crazy, these dudes too, like what they did to their motorcycles. Like you got dudes who didn't know how motors worked at all, but they're just kind of like, well, let's make this piston lighter, so like hollow it out. Let's make this fucking thing light, and they just like sat there and like
we can shave on these piston rods a little bit.
Yeah, and just like
even
get this shit that all our like what we have now, that's performance. That's what that was born out of.
Oh, yeah. And you want to get even older yet, like the guys that did board track racing before that, those guys were the real savages. Like when it came to making bikes go fast and risking your fucking life and probably dying, those guys were something else.
And like that stuff
right there.
That stuff is what's really lost.
Is that the one? Is that the one you did?
Yeah, I just photoshopped it so it's Ed Kreitz now instead of
Ed
Kretz.
Cool. The whole
that's golden.
I would say the whole board track thing, that's just lost to history. It really is. You have these guys that were the pioneers of like moto speed, like of guys that making motorcycles go fast and risking their neck, like you said, but we will never fucking see it. We've got a couple of old photo reels and everything like that, but as far as like really knowing what those guys go through, that's 100% just lost. It's gone.
And it's a movie that, like, for some reason the community seems to, well, probably like half the community wants to talk so much shit about, and I don't understand why. But that movie, Why We Ride, that came out a year or two ago.
That was good.
That movie
I like that.
It's so good, like so good. And the fact that they have people from that era that can kind of like, shine some light on that shit instead of just seeing some crappy photo reels, that's fucking awesome.
Because the whole board track thing was just like
intelligent conversation going on here. This is fucking amazing.
Let me just add some guys who are really fucking killing it, man. I mean, just like no helmets, no gear, no nothing, just a bike with like a tire that was like an inch wide, going like a lot of. I mean, they were going like 100 miles an hour. A lot of those guys. Yeah, they were on bicycle tires. Like tires that were not meant to be doing that kind of stuff. And a lot of these bikes, the bikes
apart.
Didn't have transmissions. You didn't idle. It was just like a bike that you basically pushed it to start it, and that was it.
Yep.
Like there's no idling, there's no changing gears. It's basically like get on it, and that's how fast you go.
That's why they had pushers at the start of the race. They had guys fucking pushing them to get them going because they only had one speed, and it was fucking go fast or nothing.
I'll tell you another guy that I've always looked up to and who has always been a hero to me since I was just a little bitty kid is Malcolm Smith.
Yep, another legend.
Yeah, he's another absolute legend. In fact, he's featured on Any Sunday.
Yep.
But he's got to be, I don't know, man. He's in his 70s, and
yeah, he's still kicking, I think.
Yeah, he's still riding.
But yeah,
And he owns Malcolm Smith Motorsports somewhere in California. I'm not sure where in California it is.
yeah, it's it's a massive brand. It has been for ages now.
But I mean, he's another one of those guys, man. He did trials, he did GNCC.
Let me tell you something.
Baja 1000.
We've talked about all these amazing moto movies, and then Crash to Stuntman and said, "Ride with Norman Reedus." What are your thoughts? Gayest shit I've ever seen in my fucking life, dude. Awful.
I haven't seen it.
Worst shit you've ever fucking seen. I saw the first episode. It was the most pandering, ass-kissing bullshit I've ever seen in my fucking life.
I just couldn't make it through any episode I tried to sit down and watch. Like if I was flipping channels and it was on, I would stop down and I would maybe make it 5 or 10 minutes before I couldn't.
You try.
Yeah, I wanted to give it a chance. I really did, but it was just horrible.
That's
it's all basically a bought and paid advertisement. It's like, well, now I only watched the first episode, so
yeah, I've never watched it. I'd like to though and see what it's all about because there's been some shows like that have been successful, like that years ago there, that Long Way Round show. That was amazing. I still watch that like probably once a year. I've got the DVD set. I'll crack it out once in a while and fucking binge watch it.
I couldn't actually watch the Long Way Round either. I know a lot of people loved it. It never hooked me. I'm not saying it's not good, but try watching Ride with Norman Reedus. It's fucking stupendously awful.
I really liked the Faster movies.
Yeah, they're good.
Faster, Fastest, the Texas Tornado, the Kentucky Kid, the Texas Tornado, and whatever it was. Those were really well done MotoGP centric documentaries. And the great thing about Faster is it really does capture an important time in MotoGP racing when they were going from 2-stroke to 4-stroke in the early 2000s. And Valentino Rossi is so young, and they're racing 2-stroke 500, 2-stroke 500 MotoGP bikes.
Those things need to make a comeback. Those bikes were fucking mental.
Yeah, they were, man. No traction control, just violent power delivery.
No,
absolute, just demons on the track, man. Those things were evil all the way.
And that's when MotoGP racing was like at its peak too. Like it was. Mm-hmm. It was all man and machine. There wasn't all this telemetry and all this other bullshit going on. Like it was just
bike and rider.
You're fast. Right. Like that's how it is.
Yep.
And everything's fucking. Cool. It's all milk toast now, man. It is
milk toast.
Yeah.
Except for
Crash hit up another one there too. That I didn't have high hopes for that. Well, it was. I guess it's not really a series. It's like a TV movie split into 3-4 parts, whatever it was. But that Harley and the Davidsons show movie, whatever the hell, that was actually really, really good.
Kind of showed the history of the company in the early days, right?
So
I didn't have high hopes for it, but it was put together so well.
What's the best fiction motorcycle movie?
Oh, like just our favorite biker movie?
Yeah.
Oh man, that list is long for me. I'll tell you, one of my very favorite biker movies is this very hard to get a hold of, obscure movie from Australia called Stone. It's about an outlaw bike club called the Gravediggers, and they all ride Kawasaki Z1As. And this cop named Stone has to join their gang because there's a hitman that's been slowly killing them off, and he needs to find out who it is. It's cheesy as hell, but it has super hot naked babes all through it, super hot motorcycles, and it's just a little slice of 1974. It's so great.
I can dig it.
Oh, fucking JT Stunts hit that Biker Boys. That was like the worst.
That was awful.
But the funny, I said that I actually just watched that like a week ago or some shit. I said something about that on my Snapchat. That's the video or movie that actually like introduced me to stunt riding. I had never seen it before that because I just raced motocross and all that shit before. But then I was like, oh shit, guys are doing like tricks on sport bikes. That's pretty cool.
I think that
I was young though. I was like 12 or 13 when it came out.
Biker Boys I'm only a couple years older than you, Lee, but I remember when Biker Boys came out, I thought it was really fucking dumb. And later on, well, no, I'm just saying later on, I had a little more appreciation for it because it was like it came out with Lawrence Fishburne. It was like right after Matrix when Lawrence Fishburne was like just like really a hot commodity, which he never should have been because he's not a very good actor. And
No.
and he's just a really weird looking dude in general. But like what did he's a real bike enthusiast, and what did he choose to do with his fame is make a biker movie. And like afterwards I can look at that and go like that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. That's something I didn't really realize until you just said that. That makes it awesome.
Shit. And he is. Lawrence Fishburne is a huge motorcycle enthusiast, man.
Yeah.
And the fact that his daughter.
Yeah, biker. Oh, really?
Yeah. His
Oh,
daughter
yeah,
was
I heard
born.
that. Yeah.
But fucking Tex mentioned the one that probably my favorite, Harley Davidson, the Marlboro Man.
I got all the Australians in the side chat fired up with my mention of Stone. They're like, hell yeah! Stone!
I just like kind of blowing my mind. What is it kind of towards the start of the movie where she throws that guy against the wall, like the lady cop, and she's just like totally raping his nutsack against the wall. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, I was like 7 years old watching this. And I was like, that's what happens when you ride a motorcycle. Fuck, I need to get one of those.
Yeah. World's Fastest Indian. That's a good one.
My big bike movie was Akira.
Oh yeah.
That was huge for me when I was a little kid.
So is nobody going to mention the obligatory Easy Rider? Because that's an important movie, too.
Well, yeah, that's...
Right.
Yeah, but you know
That's
what?
huge,
You probably saw that when you were young, Tim. I didn't see that till I was a full-grown adult.
Yeah, I didn't see it till I was in my teens. So it came out the year I was born. It came out actually before I was born, but it came out the same year. I was born right at the tail end of '69. So I didn't really get to see it until I was, 14, 15 years old. So
the tail end of '69.
yeah, that's right. You know it. I said it like that. Could I interest you in the little tail end of '69?
I would abuse that.
Sludhead brought it up. Also, like Road Rash as a video game, that brought a lot of people into biking. As dumb as everybody may think it is, it fucking did.
Excite Bike too. No, kidding.
Excite Bike, man.
That was fun though.
Serious hours on Excite Bike, let me tell you. Fuck, especially because, like, I don't understand. All these games nowadays have so much cool technology and shit, and all the old games you could build your own tracks on, you can't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck Excite Bike, I would just make like one gigantic fucking massive jump in the middle every time and see how big it can go. It's the best thing ever.
I do a lot of time on Excite Bike, but like it's weird, and this is something I've been meaning to do a video on for a long time. Is that we think it's stupid now, but Sons of Anarchy has
I mean,
a lot of people into motorcycling, a lot.
Yeah. And
it's got some value. Like, I mean, it was a good show, I guess. Like, it was put together. It's a drama, right? So I wasn't looking at it like, this is what happens in the biker world, like some people do. And it was a great show. I fucking loved it. But then all of a sudden, the merchandise and all that shit kind of took over and made it.
The problem with those real tricked up dramas is no matter what they're about, after about 3 seasons, they start to get ridiculous because everything gets so contrived. The first 2 seasons in particular of Sons of Anarchy, that was some really, really good TV. But after that, man, it kind of started to jump the shark and it got too wild and unbelievable at the end, even for a TV drama.
I feel like you actually summed it up better than anybody I've ever heard sum up that show. And after the last season came out, and I watched like a few episodes of the first season, it was okay. But I always thought the show was contrived and shitty. But you summed it up perfectly, Tim. And you said Jax lived like a punk and he died like a punk.
Yeah, he lived like a bitch and he died like a bitch. Yeah,
and that summed up the show perfectly. He's not even an anti-hero. He just was never a good
He was never
He was
likable.
never a hero. He was just a bad fucking shitty person the entire fucking series.
That was one of the main flaws, was that they're really, they talked about it all the time in the media. The anti-hero, this is the ultimate if you are into anti-heroes. An anti-hero is someone that, even though they're bad, you still root for them. You still feel for them. You feel empathy and sympathy for them. That's the concept of the anti-hero. And I never felt that for any of those guys. The only people you felt any kind of compassion for were the women who got dragged into all the bullshit. And
you didn't like ever think, because the anti-hero, like you said, the anti-hero is somebody who has to do the bad things in order to make the good thing happen. But that was, like you said, that was none of them. They were just criminals.
Right.
It wasn't even the Sopranos. At least the Sopranos like cared about their fucking family. Like,
yeah. But at least they ended it and not just fucking cut to black like the Sopranos at the end. Jesus Christ!
But there's a whole thing about that too. If you remember a few episodes before the final episode, Syl and Tony are talking about death, and Tony says something along the lines of, "Yeah, you probably never see it coming. Everything just goes black," or something like that. And so, my theory is that what happened is they're all sitting in that restaurant, and if you look real closely, like look at Tony's son, he's eating those onion rings like he's taking communion. And there's all this weird spiritual stuff going on. If you look at some of the symbolism that's being used on the set, I think they all got killed. And the only one who was spared was Summer, because she was late getting there. But when it goes to black, I think what that is they all just got waxed. They all died.
God damn it, Tim! Now I gotta go watch all this again.
That cool TV. You can't watch The Sopranos again. That's like 24 episode, hour long.
You can watch the last season though.
The Sopranos. That was like one of the last great TV shows, because it was like that long form television that was so fucking long.
Yeah.
I did that with that movie Prometheus. Like, we're getting off topic of motorcycles here, but like, yeah, that movie Prometheus has so much hidden bullshit inside there. I've watched that movie literally 64 times. I'm at now.
Wow.
64 times since it came out, and I still am like picking out little bullshit every time I watch it. Like, I don't even like pay attention to the dialogue or main characters half the time now. I'm just like watching all the shit in the background that you can see, because there's all that weird H.R. Geiger art throughout the whole thing, and all that's very symbolistic stuff. And like, dude, that shit just gets me fucking, I don't know. I can't handle that kind of stuff. I get too involved.
To take this back to motorcycles, there is tons of that in Easy Rider. Tons of symbolism in Easy Rider, from the beginning all the way to the end. From the artwork in the brothel to a lot of the foreshadowing, and those guys were anti-heroes. That was a good use of the concept of the anti-hero.
Yeah.
But their deaths are foreshadowed. The fact that they realized too late that they accomplished their goal in the wrong way. Anyway, man, you can get into some pretty deep stuff on Easy Rider too.
Yeah. Damn it! No. Well, I got stuff to do now. Looks like my YouTube consistency is going to go down in the next little while. Yeah. I'm going to be too busy watching all this shit.
No, fucking do it, man. You've been doing really good on your consistency, man.
Yeah, 4 videos in a row. That's the best I've ever done, and I'd like to keep that going. Actually, people have been asking. Actually, I haven't addressed this in the chat, and hopefully these people are still here. But I did get all the remaining bullshit I need to get the handbrake going today. Actually, I went and picked that up. So I'm probably going to film something tomorrow and try and make that shit happen.
I'll tell you the best, and not that I've achieved any kind of great success or anything like that, but the best thing I ever fucking did was upload 1 video a week. Like, that's the best thing I ever did.
Like I've really been seeing it too. Like, since I started doing the 1 a week thing, like seeing the numbers like grow little bits at a time every time I do is I don't know. It's definitely motivating to see that.
Yeah. That's what I need to get back to, is doing a video a week. The only thing is, with me, with everything else I've got going on, I can only maintain that in short bursts. And then before I know it, I'm back to 2 or 3 videos a month.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it sucks that I can't ride or anything right now, but it'd be nice to do multiple videos a week is kind of what I'm working up to. Figuring out, streamlining my editing process a little bit so I
2
can
videos a week.
bang them out a little faster.
That would be what really makes it happen. I'll tell you, it's fucking weird, man. 1 video a week is a fuck ton of work.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I've done 1 video a week for like a year and a half now. And like looking back from where I am now, it's not like I look back and go like, man, I've achieved so much. I look back and go like, I can't believe I've done this. Like, I can't believe I've kept this up. It feels insane. It feels like I'm a crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what the
It
fuck?
is like I've only done it for 4 weeks now, and I'm like, fuck, this is a lot of work, man.
Yeah. Imagine when Casey Neistat was doing it every day for 6 months.
Oh my god!
Like,
he did it for over a year though, didn't he? Or
Was it?
yeah, like a year and a half of daily shit.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know it was that long. Hell, that's even worse. Gosh.
I can't imagine, man. And I never watched. Maybe his videos were like over 10 minutes long. Like, right? Like, I mean, they were like real fucking videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, like his videos were good every single time too. He wasn't just, pooping videos out every day.
Yeah. But if you notice, he did have a streamlined process. He did his
streamlined.
Yeah, he did
And,
his
like,
montages a certain way. Yeah.
A real good thing about his shit is like the guy was already in a position to be, making good content every day. Like he's not just sitting around at home. Like if I would love to do a daily channel at some point if I figured out how to edit that fast and do all that kind of shit. But the problem is like 6 days a week, people don't want to see me sitting on my couch in my underwear eating fucking tacos.
Yeah.
He was fucking in a position that he's always traveling and doing cool stuff all the time. So it was a recipe for success, basically.
Right. Yeah, it's easy if you do those kind of vlogs like Boogie and those guys do, where you're literally just you point your phone at yourself and you talk for 10 minutes sitting in a chair. That's easier to do, but when you're actually trying to create some sort of a cinematic piece, you can't do that. And I don't see how he kept it up for a year and a half. That seems impossible to me.
That's incredible. And like the little break that he's taken, he's starting to like kind of like make a little more and a little more and a little more. Like he's coming back to it. He even made like a whole video like how much he misses doing that shit every day. I was like, man, that's crazy. Like to put that much work into it, especially all the other shit he's got on top of it. Like if I was to think of me to do it, because like I'm a single dude, I don't have kids or any other shit going on. So like I could really focus on that shit. But he's got his business, he's got his family, he's got all this other crap like he's got his hands into. It's pretty amazing that he's able to keep up that kind of pace.
Yeah.
For that long.
And every day.
And he didn't miss it.
I take a whole day.
He didn't miss a day.
My whole thing is like when I edit a video, it's a whole day. Like that's a work. I take a work. It's a work day. I do it on my day off, but it's a work day amount of time to not just edit it, because it's not just editing it. It's also uploading it, writing the description, putting in all the tags,
all the keywords. Oh yeah, dude.
Creating the thumbnail, and then also after you release it, responding to comments. All the stuff.
That's one thing that
I timed it today in order to, and I used to respond to every. I'm sorry, Lee, I've cut you off several times now, and I'm gonna.
Oh, no problem.
But I prided myself in responding to every single comment for a long time, and I've reached a point now where I can't.
Yeah, I was wondering when that was going to happen.
And
I got to that point too. I can't. I've actually like kind of. It sounds dickish to say, and like I don't know, whatever. It just is what it is now. But I've kind of like I pick and choose what I want to respond to now, and the whole YouTube thing has become so much less stressful for me. Like when you get like those people that'll just comment stupid shit on your stuff all the time, or you'll get like the same comment over and over and over again, right? So like even though they're good comments, like you know, you might get 30, 40 comments where your only possible response is like, thank you or something like that, right? Like you don't want to write thank you that many times and whatever. And it kind of sucks to not respond to them, but like you always take a mental note, like, hey, this last video I responded to this guy or whatever, so he can take a skip on the next one kind of thing. And it's kind of made the whole thing a lot less stressful and a lot more enjoyable, to be honest. Not taking a whole day to
It's what's that? Rev Bomb in the side chat, by the way. What up, motherfucker? Rev Bomb is a man.
Yeah.
I try to respond to people that ask a question.
Yeah. 100%.
Like if you ask a question, like if you're just like, hey, love you, I'm just like, that's awesome, man. And I read it and I'm just like, that's great. And I like it fucking means something. Like I love it. Like it feels good.
Yeah,
but
super awesome.
At some point I just like I gotta choose to answer the question. Like, you know.
Yeah, and that's how I do it now too. And it's I don't know, it's gotten better for me. That's for sure. Just answering like a proper question that I haven't answered 10,000 times before. If it's like someone that you don't recognize from commenting before, like you know for sure is new to the channel, it's like, okay, yeah, like welcome to the thing, you know, thanks for subscribing or whatever, right?
I had a big problem with that when video that I did that did really well. That just like cluttered up my feed.
Oh yeah, the Harley video. Yeah, that
thing's still going on.
No, it's like it's pushing 400,000 views right now.
Yeah.
And it's like fucking like 20, 30 comments every single day.
Yeah, that is your biggest video for
by
sure.
far.
You shot up a lot from that. Because I was like fucking I don't check Social Blade very fucking often. And I was like, oh, you know, I want to see what like my stuff's doing like now that I've been uploading more consistent and shit. And then I checked your stuff because I was like, man, I wonder if I'm getting close to Josh by now. I must be. And then I checked that and I was like, holy shit. Just massive lead pull.
Yeah, dude, Josh, the Harley video has 2,200 comments. You cannot answer every one of those. It's not possible, man.
I mean, you could, but then you're not making any fucking new content for the next week, right? So what would you rather have? Like, that's something you can, well, I ask myself, I know the answer, but ask your fans or something that like the people like, oh, this guy's a dick, he didn't respond to me or something like that. And they're like, well, would you rather me spend a day or two answering comments or a day or two making something new?
Yeah, it is what it is, man. I knew it was going to happen eventually, and it just was like kind of a hard thing for me to swallow, just because that's something that I just was like, that was my thing.
Yeah, me too. For a long time, I always answered every single one, and
yeah,
it kind of was a bummer
I do now, but
not do it.
But you got to keep in mind, like you know, a big comment, a big comment thread for me is like 300 comments. That's a big, you know, that's a big video. You can still manage that. You can still do that. But yeah, man, 2,000 comments, 3,000 comments. Holy mackerel.
Yeah. So that's crazy.
And like 200-300, like that's actually my normal too. But
and it's funny too, like I'll be totally honest and say that I like probably 6-7 months ago I was talking shit about like a big channel or multiple big channels, like just to myself and whatever, saying like, you know, this is your full-time job, you can't answer everybody, that's fucking bullshit and whatever. But now I totally fucking understand why my foot's in my mouth for even saying something like that before, because it's crazy how much work that goes into it.
It's also it's draining.
It's very, very draining.
Because like it's not just a, you know, thank you, copy and paste. Like every comment I respond to, I'm just like, well, let me think about what I'm gonna say. Let me like read the comment and analyze what they were thinking. And like it just like it takes that mental effort towards every comment, which is nothing for one times 1,000. That's insane.
Yeah, totally. But let's see. Let's pull some more questions here. What else you guys got for us?
I was looking at Josh's analytics. You now have 6 videos with over 100,000 views.
I'm not upset about how my channel's doing right now.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be either. That's awesome.
Yeah, you're sitting at 2.5 million views to your channel right now. That's really good. I'm still under 1 million on mine.
You remember when we first started doing this live stream? the biggest one of us was Neil.
Yep. Yeah, he was the
Neil
king.
was, like, by far the biggest one. And he had like 3,000 subscribers.
Yep. Yeah, when I first started following Neil, he had, yeah, that was probably about then. Yeah, early mid 2014. I found Neil. I found Suburban Delinquent through Neil, and I found Neil through you. When I found you, I thought you were the only person in the world doing doing motovlogging. Like, I had no idea there were all these other people doing it.
That's what I thought too when I first started doing it.
Yeah, and when I first started following Suburban Delinquent, he had a couple hundred subs. In fact, I think at one point, I think I had a bigger channel than Suburban Delinquent.
Oh, I had a way bigger channel than Sub D when we first started talking. Like,
I remember like that whole first year too. I'm like, fuck, I gotta catch up to that Tim Kreitz guy.
I'm just trying to catch up to myself. I'm on pace to hit 10,000 this year.
That's awesome.
And if I can just do that, I'll stop bitching about it. The way I do things is so niche that, you know, that would be a huge success if I hit 10,000 this year. I only need like 2,000 something to go to hit it. So I know I'll hit it. Yeah.
Everybody fucking watching, go subscribe to Tim, or I'll personally fly there and kick you in the dick.
I've just got to make
a
video this year where I talk about Tim Kreitz, because I can't believe that I didn't say your name out loud on YouTube one time last year.
Yeah, I went back and looked so I could put you in my intro, but I couldn't find anything.
I saw that and I was just like, damn, dude, I can't believe I didn't say Tim's name out loud.
That's another thing, people. If you mention my name or talk about me in one of your videos and I know about it, I'll put you in my end of year special. I'll put your footage in my end of year special. So that's how I always do my intros for the past 3 years. It's just a montage. It's kind of like the Do It With Dan montage, but it's just people saying cool shit about me.
Mr. Random had a good question. Yeah, I like that one. 100% it's worth it. 100%. I mean, like we kind of talked about a little bit on the other stream, the fact that like this whole YouTube thing has put, you know, me and all the other guys will agree, like it's put us in contact with so many fucking awesome people, like people that I consider fucking dear friends now that I've never seen their face before, I've never met them before, but like put you with some pretty solid people. There's some amazing people in this community. Of course, every community you get involved with, there's some shitheads, but there's some really fucking solid people involved in YouTube. So I'm very happy I got into it.
Yeah, that's the whole thing for me. I've literally made friendships that are going to last a lifetime, and that alone has made it worth it, because those are the things in life that matter. That's what you matter.
Yeah,
the love that you share with people. That's the if you take anything from this earth with you into the afterlife, it's that stuff. It's those types of works. So yeah, just based on that alone, it's totally worth it. All the work and frustration of YouTube. There's no doubt.
Well, and most people, they think of like YouTube and like, I want to have a big channel and I'm going to make a bunch of money and stuff, and like, yeah, that's cool and everything, and that'd be awesome if that happened, but I mean, the biggest thing I've gotten out of it is what I mentioned. I'd take that over the paycheck all day.
Yeah.
I could walk away right now and be okay with it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if I never made another video, like, after today. And that, I didn't get there overnight. Like, that took me a while to get to that point. Like, in the first year I did it, like, I couldn't have walked away and been happy. Like, I would have been, like, super angry. And I feel like that's where a lot of people quit. Like in their first year, they just like they just stop making videos, and they get fucking angry about it. But like if I just stopped now, I'd be like, yeah, it's cool, man. That was pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of like that too. But the thing about it is, I'm now at a point where I'm having more fun with it than I ever have, and also I'm making the best episodes I've ever made right now.
Yeah, your stuff's getting fucking real clean now that you got the drone in your arsenal and all that stuff.
Yeah, and you're the reason I started using the drone. I had the drone for a while, using it in my video production business, but I wasn't using it in motovlogs because the way a lot of guys were using it just pissed me off, and I didn't want to be a part of that, you know? Then you got yours, and the way you started using yours was like, that's badass. I can use mine that way too. So I don't use it exactly like you do. I mean, I kind of do it my own way, but the trick is to use it in limited doses and use it to accentuate the storyline. Don't just throw it in there because it's drone footage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you can't,
it has to have continuity.
Yeah, you can't just like bang in a shitload of drone footage and it's going to be good. You got to kind of, it's got to make sense and stuff, and you can't really like overuse a shitload of it too. That's a big thing. I see a lot of overuse of drone footage, and it's like, all right, well, I'm getting tired of seeing this now.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You gotta pepper it in where it's right.
Right. Yeah. In my most recent video, I think I used a total of, I mean, it's probably about an 8-minute video. I don't even know how long it is. So 8 minutes maybe, and of that is maybe 15 seconds of drone footage. So,
and it's funny too, like you use like even one drone shot of like some B-roll footage and stuff, and people notice it.
Yeah. 7:18 is the length on my latest video. I'm trying to keep them between 7.5 and 8.5 minutes this year. We'll see how that works. I'm sure I'll have some 10, 12-minute videos on the longer rides.
One of the things, what's funny is that you actually said this to me, Tim, via Baker Xeric.
Fucking Chris, are we reading the chat right now? I want to fucking go off on this so hard right now, and I'm not giving this the time of day.
No, you can't even mention what you want.
No, it's hilarious.
You actually said this to me via Baker Xeric, Tim. You said a video is however long it needs to be.
Yeah,
exactly.
And, like once I started subscribing to that mentality, editing has been so much easier for me. Like so much fucking easier. And it's not even, I don't try to make, a lot of times I'll release a video that's 15, 16 minutes long. I don't try to do that. But if it is, it is.
But 15 minutes is okay. There's usually several times a year when I end up with a 14 or 15-minute video. You know, I have an episode from 2015 called Horrors, Murder, and Whiskey that's about 15 minutes. And I have to pat myself on the back. I haven't watched it in probably a year or more. But that thing flows. That's like the fastest 15 minutes I've ever edited, if that makes sense. Because the whole thing flows. There's nothing slow or, you know, it never loses its rhythm. That episode has rhythm from beginning to end. You don't know it's 15 minutes. And you do that a lot too, Josh. You keep stuff moving and things at such a good pace, and the energy stays so high that you don't know you just watched a 14 or 15-minute video.
Thank you, Tim. I try to.
Yeah, you do a great job of that.
But speaking of pacing, I'm about to have to pace myself into the bedroom.
Yeah, let's wrap this thing up here. Let's do like a 5-minute rule, except for X out of it here. I'll just stop it after 5 minutes. So
okay,
get in somebody fucking throw down like, I don't know, 1, 2 like really solid questions, like not something, you know, random, and we'll hammer it out and we'll shut this thing down.
Final questions.
I'm just gonna go ahead and fucking ban this stupid twat.
What do we think about motovlogging and riding during motocross during competition and practice? I tell you, there's a guy in Michigan who does that, Dirt Rider 500R, and he does a very good job of it. He's got some really gnarly crashes as well on that channel, so it can be done.
Anybody I watch that does that vlogs and is able to speak during a race, and even just during practice, like that is fucking sick.
Yeah, that's
Wired Tim's leather's so old. Going back to the old leather meme, huh? Okay. Way to spend your last 5 minutes wisely, people.
Matthew DeBono says, "Can you do what Lee does on an 883?"
Yep, 100%.
There's no doubt.
You can do what I do on anything with 2 wheels and a motor. It's a matter of skill and practice.
Yeah. And an 883 has plenty of torque to rip 12 o'clock wheelies all day.
Yep.
There's no doubt.
I mean, I bet a guy, I fucking sat there and cleaned this guy out of money all day long. I was hustling him so hard because he was betting me all the shit that I couldn't do. Like, first I couldn't do a 12 o'clock wheelie on a CBR 125. And I was like, well, there's an easy $100. I'll take that from you right now. and then I started doing circle wheelies on this thing, and I was banging out like stoppies on it and all these tricks. And he just kept like he just kept trying to up the ante, thinking like, you can't do this on this bike. I'm like, no, you can fucking do it. It's just a matter of like, I've been doing this a long time. I've got the skill and the practice to do it. So I can do it. So if you sat there and took the same amount of time I did, you could do it too. It's not the bike, it's the rider.
Absolutely. Worst crash? Mine was on the racetrack in 2005, but that said, it was pretty minor. I just broke a couple of ribs, messed my motorcycle up, and messed up my old leathers. The famous old leathers. Yeah.
RAP. God, I've had a couple of bad crashes. Like my first one was without a helmet, of course. Was way worse than the one where I broke my foot. Where I fractured my skull. I've got a big fucking crazy fucking Harry Potter scar going down the entire length of my head.
Let's see. Top motorcycle related YouTuber.
That's a whole fucking video right there, dude. Because let me tell you right now, if you're a fucking YouTuber,
there's so much stuff out there.
If
I'm gonna answer quick,
and you fucking want to make YouTube videos, watch people besides motovloggers.
Yeah.
100%. My shit didn't get decent until I kind of started watching stuff outside of the genre.
Me too.
But if I got to answer it like quick and give you a name, it'd be Unolson right now. I'll type it in the chat because it's spelled like John. Here you go. I'll give you.
Here's a good.
There you go. That guy's unreal. His shit's amazing.
Are you ever gonna do a wheelie tutorial?
That's like my most requested video ever since I started. And that's something I've thought about, and I probably should do it because all the wheelie tutorials I've seen on YouTube are shit that just make me laugh, like how bad it is.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Like it's either like not explained well enough or just the content like sucks. Like it might be somebody really good and the content's horrible. Like I remember like Nick Apex, no one doubts his stunt riding ability whatsoever. He did one years and years ago with some company, and like it's unwatchable. It's so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's other ones that are like the highest viewed ones are made by people who have no fucking business doing a wheelie themselves. Never mind trying to teach somebody else to do it.
Yeah. Sub D and I have had this conversation, and he's told me basically he doesn't want to do, because everybody asks him to do the same thing. He said he doesn't want to do it because you shouldn't be doing wheelies the way he does them. He said, I would never teach anybody to do wheelies the way I do it. They'd kill themselves.
So fucking sketchy, man.
Yeah, that's something I'd have to think about too, is like I'd have to make it more than one part, because I couldn't just say like, all right, here's how to do a wheelie and do it the way that I do a wheelie, because I'll kill somebody. Somebody be like, oh yeah, I'll just go try that right now.
With Sub D, and it's funny because especially after I had my wreck, I was just like, you know what? I was trying to learn how to do wheelies. I got ahead of myself. Like I was just like, and I looped it out. And I was talking to him in Orlando when we were hanging out. And I was just like, you know what? I looped one. And I just go, everybody loops a wheelie. Like it's no biggie. I just got hurt worse than somebody else. He looks at me, he goes like, I've never looped a wheelie.
Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you right now, I sure should have.
He didn't say it like I'm a hard ass. I've
looped out.
Like an honest, like I've just never done it, man. Like
I've looped out 1,000,000 times on dirt bikes.
Yeah, I've looped out a ton. Like even in the years now, like where I've got all the skill in the world to do a wheelie, I still like the odd time it happens. So there's a video of me fucking I did it.
Yeah, that was one of your first videos that did pretty well, right?
And like, I mean, I was brakeless doing it, so that was that's kind of asking for it. But as far as doing it with the brakes, I've never really looped one. I did it once. I had a brake failure and I fucking looped one once. My brake line actually severed and I went flying. But I'm learning it on the other hand, how to do 12 o'clock wheelies, like, because I started trying them when I was like, I think like 11 years old or 12 years old is when I started like figuring them out. And that whole summer was just nonstop bending subframes, smashing fenders, and fucking not being able to sit down on stuff. So.
Oh my god, dude! I don't think my fucking broken tailbone's ever gonna heal.
That's the worst thing ever.
I still hurt.
It's like the most annoying. It's so painful, but like so fucking annoying at the same time, because it just like it doesn't seem to go away.
Yeah,
I
that
gotta
takes a while.
I
It
love
takes a long time.
Buddy of mine's wife, when she was in labor, she had a complicated labor, and they were trying to push the baby out. It was in distress, and they were pushing so hard that they broke her tailbone. My buddy said that it sounded like the chair they had her in broke. Blam! He's like, "What the hell was that?" And she started screaming bloody murder.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it didn't hurt when it happened. It hurt the neck. I was drunk as fuck when it happened. That's why. Like I was on.
All right, we're starting.
Jessica's case.
We're starting to lose Josh here. We can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Okay, yeah, well, let's wrap this thing up. Thank you guys for sticking around. We actually had like quite a few people watching this thing for a while, and like the fact that there's still 62 people hanging out here at 3 o'clock in the morning where I'm at, that's pretty amazing. So thank you guys for sticking around for this. Thanks
Absolutely.
to Josh and Tim for joining. Go subscribe to these two if you haven't already, and make sure, like I said earlier, drop a comment after the stream is over and let us know what you thought about this, because this might become more of a regular thing and get a little more formatted and stuff. This is basically a test run to see what's going on. It was just like on the fly. Like, let's just fucking try it out and see what happens. So let us know what you think. And bye.
Yeah, later, faggots.